Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. This show, it's about love, guns, and freedom. And, in this now fun interview that I'm going to have from Phoenix, I think pretty much there is everything here. It's the spirit of the show, the essence of the show. Why? Because we're going to talk first of all about love, love for your fellow human. In this case, they are mostly veterans, Americans, and human beings, that they are homeless. And what I heard, what I watched on video, pretty much these human beings in needs, they've been harassed and beaten up by other people. I don't know the whole story, but I have a person there that actively is trying to help these homeless people, try to defend them. And that's why it comes now to the second part. We were talking about the love. Now there is also a part about freedom and guns. Yes, in Arizona we still have the freedom, and I hope we will have forever, and the right to carry guns for self-defense and for defending our freedoms. So here we go. Since according to the different witnesses, the police in Phoenix is not doing a pretty good job to defend the rights of these homeless veterans. We have American people out down there exercising the Second Amendment rights to pretty much be sure that these homeless people, they are not being, facing consequences and harm. Now, I have with me in phone connection or internet connection, in this case Skype connection, one of the guys that pretty much I found out there, one of the guys that is trying to activate other fellow Americans to come and join to do this noble task. Blaine-Cooper, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, Blaine. Please give me a little bit about your background. First of all, where are you right now exactly, and where are you located?
I'm currently located in Prescott, Arizona. I have no particular background. I've never served in the armed forces. Now I am part of different groups around the United States of standing up for constitutional rights and standing up for individual liberty and freedom, regardless of race, religion, or creed. And that's basically what I do. I go around the country and we'll show up to places armed to make sure people get their due process and that their constitutional rights are not violated.
Now, tell us a little bit more details. First of all, exactly what's going on and where's going on. You're in Phoenix, in which part of Phoenix? And tell us a little bit more details. What exactly has been happening?
Sure. Well, how I found out about it, Louis Arthur has been doing an event or a program called Walking for the Forgotten. And basically, you can look him up on Facebook, and he's been doing a walkabout across the entire Maricopa County area, raising awareness for the suicide rate of veterans now that come home from overseas is over 22 people a day. And we're trying to raise awareness to help save lives of U.S. veterans who served and protected our nation and its freedom. And he's been down there in Phoenix sleeping with the homeless by choice to interview them, to get to know them, to see exactly what's going on. And they do have shelters for them, but these vets are so afraid to go to the shelters because there's atrocities being done in these VA homes and shelters, and they're scared to death to go. Women are being raped, veterans are being abused, and so they'd rather live out on the street. And the other night he was down there, and these thugs will come out, and they will beat up the veterans. And a lot of these veterans don't have limbs, so they can't defend themselves and fight back. And they'll steal their money, they'll steal their shoes, they steal their phones, and the police are pretty much stagnant in doing anything about it. When Lewis was out there that evening, 10 guys had jumped the camp there and jumped the homeless veterans and stole a lot of their stuff. And Lewis had to defend himself, and the only thing he had was a steel pipe, and ended up having to knock one of the guys out with the steel pipe. And the cops just sit there and they just let it happen. When it was over, the police came over after the incident occurred, and they were more worried about them than they were the thugs that tried to rob them and inflict harm on our disabled veterans. And so he asked for a call to action, and that's where you got the video. I put out the video asking for people to come down and help defend these vets, since our police officers have failed to do so.
Question. First of all, did you witness any of these alleged acts of violence towards these homeless people, veterans?
No, me personally, I did not. Lewis did.
Okay, just curious. I like always to have a
Lewis Arthur, yes.
Conversation.
And he was and that's when you see my video. The gentleman in there that I was interviewing, he was the one that was present during the incident.
Okay, very interesting. Now,
but this was, and I've interviewed several witnesses down there that had the same story. Mm-hmm. And there was also some Phoenix police officers who were there with us in support, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it so we can find a way to defend the vets.
Wow, very interesting. Now, another question I have, if you don't mind. First of all,
sure.
Can you give exactly the location? Because maybe people are curious to see with their own eyes, and maybe they would like to help. Where exactly is all this happening?
Right now, this is currently on Camelback between 19th and 11th Avenue, and that's where he's currently at, defending and supporting them. And
Did you have a chance? Did you have a chance to talk? Did you have a chance to talk with the local police yourself to tell them what's going on? Maybe to ask for help.
Just the police that were present there during the movement that we had last night. We had a big turnout. We had probably over 100 people who showed up in support of them, and we got food and hygiene packages for the homeless veterans, and we helped out a lot of people who are just generally homeless. It didn't really matter if they were even veterans, but there's a huge attack on homelessness in America in general, and especially it being our vets, it's just disgusting to see the way people treat human beings anymore. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people turned out there at 19th Avenue and Camelback, and we were able to lock it down and protect the vets, and we handed out hygiene packages and food, and tried to offer them some comfort, and told them they could sleep easy tonight, that we would not allow anything to happen to them.
What's going on tonight? I mean, are you there already on location, I guess, right?
I am not there. I came home last night about 2 or 3 a.m. because I had to get more video edited showing, so I can get it out on the internet so people could see exactly what was going on.
Okay.
And from what I understand, CBS, there were some news stations that are picking it up now, and it's getting the exposure it deserves. And but I had to come back home. I wish I could be down there 24/7, but I got sick kids and everything else. So. But there are people down there still supporting them, and it's still going on. He's going to be out there the next 2 weeks with them.
Wow. So you're in Prescott, if I understood right, correct?
I'm sorry?
Are you in Prescott? I mean, are you?
Am I in Prescott?
Prescott. I mean, are you in Prescott? You don't.
Prescott. Yes, I'm in Prescott, Arizona.
So you do not live in Phoenix. Okay, interesting. Listen, I think everybody should start to look outside their box and outside their homes, because there is there are a lot of problems out there, especially now.
Yes,
American people. I mean, I don't understand. Seriously, I'm not even born in this country. I wasn't born here, but this is pretty much now. I look at this like we are going towards self-destruction. I mean, we've been hijacked. Our government is giving without our consent, extorting billions of dollars to give to other nations, to rebuild other nations or to pay off other nations, and then intentionally at this point, I don't see this as any type of excuse. They are not stupid. They're doing by design, letting behind all our American people, and more important now, these veterans that they've been already pretty much used, and now they're going to be abused and discarded. And this is so sad, So I really say thank you for doing.
we're not racist. We're the people that showed up last night were of, we had African Americans, we had Hispanic, so this is just about, we need to start banding together and uniting together, and we need to put aside our differences. We can't allow this to happen to the weakest of us. We have to stand up for the weak, and we have to stand up for the people who are in need, and we got to show that love, the love that Christ told us to show to people, and it's so dark out there. But if we just stand like this, if we did just this little seed that we planted, it could do so much to change the world if we all just took responsibility and defended one another as Americans.
Exactly. And also another thing, this is still Arizona, and, I'm not saying this because it's something special, but it is, because in many other parts of the world, we are pretty much in the hands of the government to defend us. Here, I'm not saying that we need to become vigilantes, but we still have rights, and the right to express ourselves and to defend the weak. I think that's a right too. So I tell you guys, if you are here, a law-abiding person, and you are able to carry, like we all do, or many of us do, without any type of permit in the state, even conceal, use it with, of course, always with caution, but exercise this right, because this is something to treasure. In many other parts of the world, unfortunately, the only right you have is to run and beg. Here we can still stand up as human beings and help our fellow human beings who are in need. And I also hope and pray that nothing's going to happen. Last night, by the way, did you see any type of a strange situation, any type of attempt to, probably not. I saw all these flags and they were...
Well, we were threatened. We were told that every American flag that these thugs would see, that they would target us and attack us, but that never happened.
And just because sometimes I'm kind of slow to understand, who are these people exactly? Who's supposed to be allegedly?
Apparently, I don't really know, so I don't want to speculate. From what I understand, there were thugs, and there was some of a Muslim descent, African American descent, and some white Caucasian people in the group too. And but Lewis could explain that better than I could.
Okay.
But basically, it was just young thug punks who wanted to pick on the weak, and they know when these vets get their disability, and they'll just go in and they'll mug them. They'll just take it from them. They're out there sleeping. They'll come by. They'll kick them. They hit one of them in the head with a rock last night.
How many you think there are there exactly?
Homeless veterans?
How many? No, veterans. How many of these subhumans out there are? In numbers, you think? There's
quite a bit, from what I understand. Now, last night there was about a group of 10 or 12 that attacked them.
Just an idea. Would be fun. Almost. I like to, especially Halloween. I like to dress up a little bit, and that would be fun to dress up as how you say, as an homeless. And
we did that. We got guys out there now who are undercover with the camera to try to expose this stuff of what's going on and how horrible these homeless men and women are treated down there, especially our veterans have just been hung out to dry down there.
Wow.
And I think they need to really get some kind of investigation started with the VA and the shelters around there.
Mm-hmm.
If our veterans were that scared and feel that helpless to go and actually have a roof over their head, and we really need to do some serious investigation work, that we're just hanging our vets out to dry like that. Why would they rather go live homeless in a field than to be in a comfort zone, to have a roof over their head, because they're afraid because of how they're being treated in the VA system.
And I'm sure you heard about, the latest from our great King Obama, pretty much by executive order through the VA, completely removed the Second Amendment right from the veterans just because they're indigent or they cannot take care of themselves. Automatically letters being sent to several veterans, they need to turn their guns in. Are you aware with that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. The Constitution says shall not be infringed. And I would think that somebody who protected and defended this country, who's been well trained in firearm techniques, it's just kind of an enigma that the president would think that was a good policy to take firearms away from veterans. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
It would be almost good to, this is just an idea, but, sometimes, you can help the person, you can give him a fish, or you can teach him how to fish. These people, you don't need to teach them how to fish, but maybe we can collect and chip in to buy him a gun. That would be something that would help him out.
In this country, we have relied too much on government to fix all our problems, and now people are no longer empowered to defend themselves. Mm-hmm. And if we want a real change in this country to stop violence, then we should. I don't know why there's not some kind of program in place to go house to house to start arming all our law-abiding citizens and make them well-trained and to neutralize any kind of a threat or violence that would be brought upon the public of the American citizens of this beautiful country.
I mean, we've been arming Israel billions of dollars. We've been arming ISIS, and we've been finding out we're arming pretty much around the world everybody with our tax dollar. I agree with you. Even I don't believe in programs, but since we're giving money to other countries, and many of them, they hate us anyway. Now look at this. We're giving $50 billion to Iran just to, comply with a rip-off deal. I think this money would arm every American citizen, and with a lot of
our government has been known as sponsoring terrorism for a long time now, and it's very sick to see it being done. But they want to take weapons away from our veterans, but they'll arm these crazy psychos overseas that want to behead and rape women and destroy any kind of liberty in the Middle East.
Oh, this is no more, I don't want to sound like, I don't want to diffuse from the topic, but the point is this is not anymore our government. We've been hijacked a long time ago, and that's why they're so afraid of veterans, because a veteran, and you don't need to be a veteran, but especially veterans, they took an oath that there is no expiration date to defend this republic against all enemy, foreign and domestic. And that's the point. When you have a veteran that still remember his oath and is also educated, understands the fraud, understands now, is on the street, why our government or this government is giving trillions of dollars around the world. And at this point, understand what's going on, our rights, our freedom being destroyed in this country. Why supposedly we're supposed to...
Exactly. And it's funny you should say that. Here we are giving billions and trillions of dollars to other countries, but we can't help our own people.
It's by design. This is not by stupidity.
Yeah, it's by design. Have you ever seen the video guy calls for John McCain to be arrested for treason?
Yes, I saw the video.
That was me.
Oh, wow.
I was the guy that confronted him at the town hall meeting.
Wow, excellent. It's funny because McCain is kind of my own little personal, I had a personal meeting 2009. He came to Mojave County, and at this point, I always was critical of the voting records of Senator McCain, but unfortunately, at the time, many Republicans still had ham on their eyes, and they couldn't see beyond the nose of their elephants. Right. And when I was just
Lewis that's doing this movement down in Phoenix with these veterans, September 5th, we are converging down there at the Camelback office on John McCain's office. A bunch of people are going down there, and we got paperwork and everything else, and we're gonna try to get some action done for these veterans, but we're also calling out McCain because this has gone too far with John McCain, and something's got to be done. And it's not just him; it's everybody in government. There is no Republican or Democrat. Okay, these people do not care about me or you. They care about taking and enslaving us while they give billions of dollars to other countries.
Exactly. This is exactly the point. They don't respond anymore to us. They respond now to international organization, international, or even, corporate interests, not just international, but that's the fact. Listen, I want to really commend you for, spreading out these videos, to being there, to do your duty. I appreciate it. Even I'm not there, trying to help every way I can with this radio show, and I invite everybody out there you don't need to be in Phoenix. If you got time and you got some money for gas and you want to meet like-minded people and have a little bit of activity, I call it social activities, enjoy a nice night out in Phoenix. It's kind of warm, a lot of roaches on the street. I'm sure if you wear boots, you can take care of yourself, you're going to be okay. So, I may surprise, maybe, let me know when you're there. I like to dress up a little bit, and maybe Halloween, or maybe even before Halloween, I may come down and maybe do some little bit live report from the streets, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Blaine. And don't forget, everyone.
Thank you very much.
If somebody wants to reach you, I think they can reach out on Facebook, blaine-cooper,
Yes.
right? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Guys, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom, and we got more news and more very important things to do.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. This is September 2015, the first week of September. You know, I've been reading articles from different sources, and you don't even need to read if you just know what's going on with the economy. There are a lot of signs, things are not doing well, okay? Something's happening. I talked about this in the past. I believe that there is so much things going on. There are so many things going on. People are waking up. A lot of things they don't heads up for the New World Order. Seems like, you know, there are questions that they are not being answered, and Hillary and Obama and different things that sooner or later must come out. So I really believe that something's going to happen in the next few weeks. But this is not me about belief. You know, I believe in faith. I'll try to look at facts here. And more important, I would like to talk with people that bring facts and logic to the issues, about these issues. And you, of course, you can do your researches. Several economists, just the last few months, they've been predicting that this month of September is going to be something very, very serious to our economy. That would be bad enough. Seriously. I mean, 2008 was nothing compared to these economists, what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And I hope they're wrong. I really do. But I also hear and listen and read different things that they are going on. And there are something related also with Jade Helm 15 that is still pretty much in action. I believe that it may be some other events that could be connected to some sort of maybe natural disaster. I don't know. But I brought here a guest that she's a great author. She writes for different newsletters and also internet magazines. And she reaches every day millions of people, seriously. And Lisa Haven, she's been writing and talking about this, what's going on here in September. And I have here with me Lisa. Lisa, are you there?
I am. I'm here.
Hi, perfect. Listen, I watch your YouTube, the latest YouTube about what's going on in September, what you think it may happen. You know, you study a lot about these topics, and I would like to ask you exactly what do you think? Besides the economy, is there anything else should we be worried?
Yes. Hold on. I gotta. Let me pull up my what's going to happen in September, so I don't pull this all out of my brain. But basically, I think there are a lot of factual things that are happening in September. One of those is we know first of all that Jade Helm is going to basically end in September. We know the Shemitah year is happening, the Jubilee year, the Blood Moon Tetrad. The UN's going to host their Agenda 21 Sustainable Development meeting. There's also a UN proposal to make a Palestinian state, and there's so much more even beyond this short little list that is going to be coming in September. And here we are in the month of September, so we're technically here. But what I've stated to you now are just a few of the factual things that are going to happen. And a lot of top economists, in addition to what I've just stated, are predicting that there is going to be an economic crisis of sorts. Now, they differ on exactly how that will play out, but a majority of them believe that we could be coming to a conclusion of sorts starting in September and October of where we're at economically and entering into just that new realm economically. And I think what's going on with our stocks and what's happening across the globe, not just here in America, is 100% picture of that event. It's already partially playing out.
Mm. And, I also heard other things, and that would be bad enough, because when we talk about the economy, we're not just talking about that. Let's say even people that they're not into the stock market, they think they're safe. Yeah, for sure, you're better off if you're out. But the point, we're all interconnected, because if the rest of the population is going to pretty much lose everything they have, I mean, unless you live on top of the mountain and you don't need anybody else, but if you live in a society, we're all going to be touched. I mean, this is going to be a really serious matter, because small businesses every business relies on the economy. If we have no money, we have no saving, we have nothing more left in our bank account, we cannot spend this money. So I really believe what we had in 2008 could be even nothing compared to what we're facing now, because the problem never really went away, it just was delayed. What do you think about, I heard about some stories that I didn't have the chance to verify and I didn't want to talk about it. There's supposed to be even a meteorite or an asteroid coming close to planet Earth. Did you ever heard anything about it?
Oh, yes. I've heard a lot.
Tell me, please.
My personal take, is that what you want?
Well, I would like to, your personal take according to your brain and the facts that you've been studying.
Yes. I don't personally believe there is going to be any asteroid in September.
Okay.
That's because I have yet to come across anything that is solid enough, or any person who has leaked information that, I trust with their track record 100%, or even 90% for that matter. But I just don't see that as something that will play out. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. It could happen, but I don't particularly see that happening. What I see happening is an economic crisis, because that is imminent. It may not happen this year, but it might. It may happen next year, or the year after. We just don't know when it all plays out, but we can look at what is happening in line and say, this is what I believe it will be. And I think if it was an asteroid, there would be different type of preparations from our government, and I just don't see those types of preparations, if that makes sense.
The government, unfortunately, doesn't really make any type of sense to me, because whatever they do, they don't do it for us. They always take care of themselves. So even if they were concerned about that, I don't think they would let us know what's going on for many reasons.
I think you misunderstood me. What I meant by them preparing is, no, they wouldn't warn us, not one bit.
Yeah.
But what I mean by prepare is there would be more running to bunkers, and they're doing that now, but it's not, in any specific area or away from a specific area, if that makes sense.
I understand.
Because the predicted asteroid is somewhere, south of here, and I believe, where is it? By Puerto Rico, I think, is where it's predicted. And I just don't see government officials leaving that general area.
Yeah.
And that would be my sign that something is headed this way. If we start seeing that, then I have reason to believe it. Absolutely, though, I agree that they don't talk to us. They don't tell us what's going to happen ahead of time. That's evident. That's. I think you misunderstood me, but that's what I basically meant. Is I would see more action under the radar from the government, and we look under the radar, but under the radar, moving out of that general vicinity, and I'm not seeing that yet.
Okay, I hope so. I really hope so, because that would be something that, forget the economy, that would be really the end of the world, at least a big part of this world. Another thing I'm concerned about, I realize that there is something that sooner or later must be faced. Even the most corrupted politicians out there, they are coming to a point that even the zombies, 90% of the people, they still don't care, but there is enough people who cares, and they start to really come to it. We demand answers, For example, this Hillary Clinton emails server, all these destroyed records. I mean, any other person would have been facing jail time in federal prison, and she's still out there, but she knows that sooner or later something may happen. And also, the fact that, for example, Obama is still facing a lot of questions about Iran and this deal, and they want to implement definitely this global warming agenda with the global taxes. So I really believe, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope it's not going to happen, but I have the sense that something that could be related also to some sort of event fabricated, or if you want to call false flag, to try to diffuse the attention to these very serious topics. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Especially with the economy going the way it is. It is absolutely. They can either do something like another 9/11 of sorts, another false flag, in order to, quote unquote, stimulate the economy, or we could see ourselves going to a war, or possibly both, because as we know, wars stimulate the economy, and that could be something that they do. And so I agree 100% that could definitely be something that we end up in.
Even China, in this part of the equation is very involved, because China owns most of our debt, and by design, of course. And at this point, the economy is crashing too. And I really believe, that part of this government, at least part of this government, is completely in. It's like a show, like almost a wrestling match, They try to make it look like they're against each other, like Russia against America. But after all, behind the curtains, they're all working together. And unfortunately, we've been sold out. This is my personal opinion, of course. I really believe that the Manchurian candidates, or at least the Trojan horses, they're already in Washington, D.C., and they're already planning things that could be very destructive for our country. For example, I'm very concerned about this potential threat World War III with Russia, and of course that would be connected also China, because I tell you, as you said, war, it can be a very good excuse to diffuse the attention from the economy, and the Chinese economy is doing very bad. What do you think about that? Is China dangerous to us?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason our stocks are falling. If you just read and look at some of the headlines here, I'll read one from U.S. Markets or theguardian.com. It says U.S. markets plunge as Chinese economy fears revive global jitters. Wow. And here's another one. Amid the stock market point drops, worries continue about the Chinese economy. And then there's another one, how the Chinese economy echoes across Asia. So we're feeling this thing from Asia to America and even in Russia. This is affecting us as a globe, as a nation. And not only that, but here's the other thing that we need to think about. With all these predictions from top economists that is going to happen in September, October timeframe, with all these predictions mounting and adding up, saying, we could be in for some kind of crash or some kind of trouble, economically speaking, here's what people who own stocks are going to do. They're going to cash their stocks out simply based off of top economists' predictions. Yeah. So in a sense, we're kind of, not that we're putting ourselves in this, but it definitely plays into it. And I don't think because of that reason alone that our stocks are going to, continue to do good. I could be wrong, but I think because of those two reasons alone, when top economists start saying things like that, people start cashing out of the stock market. So we could have a pretty major ripple effect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do. And, this is just my personal opinion. Guys, out there, you do what you want. And if the stock market's been working fine with you, I'm very happy. I never trusted that system. It looks to me like almost a monopoly game. And unfortunately, us, the small little people, we are just the little extras. The real actors, the real maneuvers, they pretty much control it. We're just there. I feel like you have no control over anything, And just think about it. I mean, do what you think is right. I'm not going to give you advices, but think about it. You work hard for your money. How would you feel if for a moment everything disappears? And just because, it's these electronic numbers out there. Listen, Lisa, normally I don't talk about religion in my show. I try to keep it for myself, but this is something I would like to talk today. I know you're a Christian woman. I really believe the most important thing right now we should do as human beings is to find our own faith, because we're going to face problems, reality, that if we don't have faith, I don't care how many guns you have, I don't care how many food, dry food you have, how many, whatever preparation you have. I think the most strongest part of our defense right now to face the adversity we're going to face is to find your own faith. And I really believe that. What do you think about this?
100%.
Because, I tell you, man, I really believe that. I feel it. Sometimes, like we are animals, we also have this instinct of survival. Never in my life. I've been here almost 18 years right now, and I did many things during my life. This is the first time I feel on the back of my neck, on my skin, like a sense of almost bunkered down, like a sense almost of, survival instinct to prepare. And, I've been facing different things in life. This is the first time that I really feel it big. And I don't know. I just hope I'm wrong. That's all I can say. Any type of, of course, we've been talking about this many times, but what would be your personal, I don't want to call advice, input to the listeners out there that is finally waking up and say, oh my gosh, what do you think a regular person that finally starts to get it, what would you suggest them to do for what may be happening in the next few months?
It's hard to say exactly, on what to do, but I think our best advice is, number one, like you said, is to prepare spiritually speaking. Get right with God. Number two would be to stock up food and water in the event that this thing does come crashing down. And number three, I do highly advise, if you have a good chunk of money in the bank, to take it out. And that's my personal belief, and that's what my husband and I have done, simply because we just don't trust it in there. Yeah. With what happened in Greece and what's happened in other countries, what happened in Germany years and years ago, it just isn't worth the risk, if that makes sense.
I agree. Listen, I would like to give you the floor. You can remind to the listeners how they can reach you, how can they read your articles. Please go ahead, give all the information.
Yes, if people want to get in contact with me, they can check me out on lisahavennews.net, as well as my YouTube channel, Lisa Haven. I'm under there, and I'm also on vineoflifenews.com. So those are the three ways that you can get a hold of me.
Perfect, Lisa. I really pray that we are all wrong, and we wake up at the end of September, even October, and we're still here, maybe a little, not exactly doing great, but still able to function in normal society. Because I tell you, if this is going to happen, I don't even think America, especially this generation, ever witnessed. Because the Great Depression, America was different from now. Now it's too much just not able to function in an independent way. Even people who live in the country, they are not really self-efficient. They don't really have the opportunity to survive. We're all too much connected to these stores and superstores. So I just hope we are wrong, and I pray for you and your family, and hopefully we can talk maybe in a month, and we're going to see some updates, maybe positive things, okay?
That sounds good.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you again for having me on. Thank
you. Okay, guys, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna, and let's see what's going on next.
State of the free. State of the free. Social, let's red tape. There ain't no place like this state. We have the right to carry, we have the right to speak. Here, guns are not free. Salute California. Love Arizona. State of the free. State of the free.
Here we go, guys. That was I Love Arizona, a song that I wrote. You don't know when I wrote it and when and how I wrote it. Well, I wrote it exactly in 2006. I was crossing the Colorado River. It was my mass migration from California. My last truckload full of my personal things that I was moving from the state of California when finally I had my place here in Arizona. So it's pretty much, I don't know, it's a real song from the heart. And don't get me wrong, Arizona is not perfect, okay? There are a lot of things I would like to improve, a lot of things I would like to change to make a more freedom-oriented state. But compared to California, Arizona is like heaven, seriously. And talking about California, I need to tell you something, because I really feel for my brothers and sisters who are still stuck in this state. Part of me, I say, guys, unfortunately, the politicians that you have, they are results of the voters. But I don't want to blame it on all of you, because, of course, there are a lot of good people there that I really believe they became outnumbered by the illegal aliens voting. And sometimes things happen, I guess. And I'm sorry. This state, I really believe, is directed, is going to self-destruction. I was a couple of days ago, I was for a 24-hour trip to California. Exactly was 18 hours. What means that I don't stay there to sleep. I leave at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning from Arizona. I go all the way down to Los Angeles for business, and can run fast enough, jump in the truck, and come back home at night late. Kind of a hard trip. Sometimes I wish I didn't have to do it, but it's part of my life. I enjoy doing it too, because it's part of my music business. I go there, I do recordings and things like that. But I tell you, sometimes what I like about these 24-hour torture trips is just to remember, even when I complain about the state of Arizona, as I said, there are a lot of things I would like to improve. I want to be sure that I remember how bad how bad it is now, and it's getting worse and worse in California. For example, California is one of the states on the front line for Agenda 21. And even Democrats, there are a lot of good Democrats out there that understood, and they're understanding that Agenda 21 is not about the environment, but it's about control, corporatism, control, fascism. Under the idea that they want to try to sell you that it's for the environment. It's all about fascism. It's all about complete control. So it's all about enslavement. And I'm glad that many, many people on the left, they're understanding that, because we got to unite. I'm not left nor right, as I said, but I tell you guys, this is a point that we have to unite for freedom. So there is a book out there that I read. It's Behind the Green Mask by Mary Corey. Anyway, I forgot the last name, but she's a Democrat. Rossi Corey, I guess. Anyway, but the name of the book is Behind the Green Mask. And it's a book exposing, with facts, not with opinions, with facts, the dangers to freedom when it comes down to implementing Agenda 21. Now, California, as I was saying, is a poster child, probably in the world, or at least in the United States, for Agenda 21. And the first thing really that it drove me crazy, no pun intended, since I was driving my truck, is the differences in prices at the gas pump, at the pump station. I mean, over $1.50 of difference. And I'm not talking about needles that is out of control. I'm talking about regular high desert, Apple Valley or whatever. So right there I say, why? I mean, the gasoline, after all, costs the same from the whatever we got it from, and the refinery, and the cost of the barrel is the same. No. Because the rest of the money that you pay extra in California goes to the state for this implementation of this carbon tax that they are so proud. Think about it. I mean, even if you believe really that there is this global warming, that we can discuss about that till it gets old, because we know it's a fraud. All these United Nations emails, they were cooked and they were proven, and now they have to call it climate change because there is no more warming, but we are cooling. But regardless, let's say it's true. Global warming is true for a moment, just because I want to make you happy. What does it really is going to fix to pay to the government extra dollars or whatever in taxes? Just like you think now you're going to feel good about it, like the time of the popes. When the popes, the Pope told you in 1600, if you pay to the church, a fee, you're going to heaven. It's insane. It's insane. It puts level, but it's getting worse. It's getting much worse. First of all, one thing that is very disgusting, and I tell you, it is a new level. The state is trying to pass a bill. There is a Senate bill that will try to force the reduction through taxation of gasoline of 50%. That means this is not going to touch the elite, as some of the Democrats think that they're fighting. This is not about the elite. We are all the elite now, because we're all going to get touched. If you're a working man, and normally a working woman, normally you don't live close to your workplace because you cannot afford the type of zip code, and you have to commute. Think about it. According to economists, if this bill goes through, is the Senate bill I think it's a 330 or 350, something like that, but it's the 50-50. And it was all over the radio stations when I was driving. Your typical gas of gallon that is already overpriced in California is going to be about $18 or $20. And this is not Lucas Zanna telling you. This is not me, but it is just a fact created by this new bill. Meanwhile, just to let you know, Governor Brown is trying also to implement a new tax for every driver. Every driver out there is supposed to pay $65 tax. Remember, you're paying already a tax every time you purchase the gallon of overpriced gas. You're paying already a tax. Okay, so think about it. To pay $65 driver fee on top of the highest gas taxes that you have probably in the States, that's so sad. I mean, slavery, it's almost nothing to compare to this, because at least the slaves, they're taken care of by their masters. Instead here, you as a slave, you have to go to work, and you also to pay more to your master to be allowed to go to work. So this is insane, I'm telling you. This is a bill, another proposal from the California legislations, and California drivers would pay $65 a year in new highway user fee plus higher taxes at the gas pump under a $36 billion plan of Governor Jerry Brown is pitching to help fix the state's roads, bridges, and highways. Of course, meanwhile, we give a free healthcare to illegal aliens. Go ahead with that. So right there, just with the gas issue, this taxation issue, this is not just an accident, because what they want to do, they want to implement Agenda 21. As you're familiar with Agenda 21, you will be relegated into your neighborhood, into your area. They don't gonna give you still a permit to cross that area, but pretty soon they will do that too. But more important, you will be so broke that you will not be able to afford for a car. And even if you own a car, we will not be able to afford for gasoline. So what's going to happen? You're going to stay there. And exactly what they want. They want everybody into these little micro cities that everything is by bus or by feet. So they control you. They control your movements. If you have a car, it's going to be with GPS, and they will track you everywhere you go, and they will charge you on top of all the taxes you pay already. They will tax you by the mile. It's already a proposal in Oregon, California. So that's another story there. And then, of course, when you're stuck in your little micro town, you're going to be stuck also to eat the food provided by the system. It's not going to be allowed. You're not going to be allowed to plant food because it's going to be already outlaw. Look in Visalia, California. I had a guest, this woman, this mother. She has a couple of little miniature goats. They're little dwarf goats. And the city is fighting her. Try to almost put her in jail if she dares to do that. Because she gotta go to buy the official milk, probably GMO or full of antibiotics or the formulas. Instead, with these little goats, she was trying to feed her little baby, infant. So that's the point. You cannot grow any more vegetables in your little micro New World Order Agenda 21 town because you are not allowed to touch the resources of the land. You eat only what is allowed to be given through the official stores. That's the bottom line. So they can control your water. You're going to be all chemical up and all fluoridated up and all whatever they can put there. They're already talking about lithium and other type of chemicals to calm you down. And fluoride is already there. Look at San Diego. Look at many other municipalities. You already know fluoride was created, at least with the idea, by Hitler to subdue, to control these people in the camps. Go check it out. There are books out there, okay? So they're so concerned. You think the government spent the extra billions of dollars all over the states the last 50 years just to take care of your cavities? That, by the way, doesn't do anything to the cavities, but it's toxic. It's just poison. No. It is not about that. It's to make you dumb, stupid, and docile. That's why. So they will get you in your little town. They will put you in a little micro apartment, like in New York already been talking about this 250 square foot apartment for slaves, of course, because Al Gore has a 20,000, 30,000 square foot home. The liberal, wake up. One thing I want to say about liberals anyway, I don't want to use this word liberals in a bad way, because it's supposed to be a good word. Liberal means that you support liberty. Now that you are a liberal in these days, you are a statist. You are a liberal fascist. If you support the government the way you're supporting it, you call yourself liberals, and you try to deny other people individual rights, you're a fascist. You're not a liberal. Thomas Jefferson was a liberal in the pure sense of the word. So that's the bottom line. But anyway, so that's what's happening in California. That's why we gotta wake up. Because California leads the trend, and then the rest of the states will follow eventually. So you're gonna when I went there this week, I had this really bad time. I was forced to put extra gas in my truck, and I was not even for the money, it's for the principle. I don't want to give them a dime to these bastards. Next time I will bring gasoline with my gas tanks, okay, with my extra emergency gas tanks. Now another thing that was funny, and I've been sarcastic here, the water tax for the city of Glendale and many other cities out there. Probably you're familiar that California is under state of emergency when it comes down now to water. And yes, there is this crisis. Okay, guess what? Nobody wants to talk how the crisis happened. California is being pounded by weather modification programs the last 5 years non-stop, intentionally, by design. It's proven by data, proven by all these airplanes, proven by the different documents, it's all out there. Now, this weather modification, unfortunately, they were not planned to give you water, Californians, but to create a crisis. This is a typical New World Order, the globalist way to operate. First, they create a crisis, then they will create a reaction. You will freak out, and then they give you the solution. There's going to be more tyranny. So what happened? There is a crisis with the water. Of course, meanwhile, the different big companies, the big farmland, they have exemptions, and they can anyway dig underwater if they want to. There is no regulations there. They're using billions of gallons of water, but that's another story. But you, regular slave, if you're in the house and you try to take a shower 5 minutes longer, you're going to have the SWAT team at your door if you don't pay the fine. That's the reality. But meanwhile, now, this is almost funny. The city of Glendale, the water district, because they are not getting enough revenues, because people justly, they don't want to pay the fine, and they are trying to reduce the consumption of water, the water district is not making enough revenues, so to compensate for that, to punish you further, they're also giving a $50 or so tax or fine or whatever. It's some sort of it's a mafia for me. It's a mafia fine. So they want to make you pay an extra $50 just because they don't make enough money to guarantee the infrastructures. Think about it. So right there, I tell you, that would be enough for you guys in California to have three options. You do what you want. Option number one, you got to really draw the line in the sand and start to go to these politicians' offices using your First Amendment, but stern, no apologetic. Okay, they are messing with your life. They're messing with everything you have, everything you own. You're less than a slave now. You gotta tell them in their face, we're gonna get you out of office. You better stop it, because you're supposed to work for us, bastards. Simple as that. Tax you for the water, tax you for that, tax you for the gas. They want to make you a completely fatalistic society. You cannot even drive anymore to go to work. I'm not even going to talk about, going to a vacation. I'm talking about to go to work. Think about it. And then, of course, all the minor little things, and no minors at all. Now the government claim ownership over your children in California. Next is going to be you with forced vaccination. The Senate bill that we've been talking about it. By the way, I will have at the end of the hour Dr. Rowen, again, one of the most brilliant doctors in California, who's trying to expose the dangers of vaccination. Okay? Then, of course, let's not even forget about the belt, the seat belt. People say, what's wrong with the seat belt? What's wrong? It's the principle. Think about it. The government tells you that now claims your body. You are not endangering anybody else, okay? You're on the highway, you got your car in your car, or not even your car, but whatever you think is your car, you still pay the registration, whatever. The point is now, if you don't have a seat belt, and you're not endangering anybody else, you're going to be fined. Why? Why? Because the government is claiming ownership over your body, okay? Same story with the helmet. So they are very important little things for me. Now, let's not even go with the gun issues, okay? I mean, one time I forget about the gun, one magazine of my Glock 17 in my car, almost halfway to the border of the Colorado River before Needles. I say, you know what, I'm going back, or I have to throw it away. Because I tell you, if they find you with a magazine of over 10 rounds, piece of plastic and metal, think about it, from a law-abiding person, a good person, you become now a potential felon. Tell me that's not sick. That's not sick. You know why? Because they are so sick, these bastards politicians in California. They are so afraid, and they try to do everything they can, because before they're trying to cram you in their Agenda 21 little microtown, and they rape your pocket and rape everything you have and your freedom to the bones. They want to be sure that you are completely castrated, mentally, psychologically, and also with your guns. So you're going to be left probably with a slingshot maybe. So you have three options. One, you stand the line now and you really make it happen. Number two, you just pack your stuff, call it a strategic retreat, and come to any other states. I tell you, Mojave County, Arizona is great. Not perfect, but great compared to California. And if you come here, come with the right attitude. Don't bring your California crap, okay? Please. So come and join us together, and we can fight back, and hopefully we can get it back. Number three, buy a lot of wine and get drunk. Stay there and be a slave. At night, just be happy, drink more wine, cheap wine, drink more fluoridated water, get more vaccines, and hopefully you're going to be dumb enough that you don't even know what's going on, really. That's my point. And I feel sorry because I have a lot of good friends in California that I love, and I know there are a lot of good people, but unfortunately California now is out of control. Seriously. That's what I'm saying. So, people say, why do you even go to California? As I said, first of all, it's good to be a reminder. It's good to be a reminder. Once in a while, it's good to feel a little worse, so you know how good you have it where you are. Number one. Number two, unfortunately, my main recording studio where I work is in Los Angeles, and it's a good friend of mine. And that's where he's stuck. That's where he has his business, I'm lucky that I don't need to work there. But many of the people, that's the industry. That's fine. I'm a farmer after all. I'm a songwriter. I don't need to go there to do every time like what people normally do in the industry. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying, guys. This is our number one. Our number two, I have a great guest. We will talk about interesting news and very important new type of ammunition against drones. And don't forget, our number three is going to be about love. And you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna. Please, if you want to support the show, this show is not corporate sponsored. It's sponsored by you, the people. 99 cents, you can download any of my songs. Go to zanna.us. zanna.us. And I appreciate your help. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna on United States.fm network. Here we go, guys. This is Lucas Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and also on United States.fm network. As you know, this is the hour about guns, okay? We talk about pretty much everything from training, products, ideas, prices. As you know, when I bring you people here, I don't even bring you sponsors, really. I try to bring you information that I really think can help you out in making more educated decisions, or when you buy a product, or when you buy a gun, or even just to learn. Simple as that. I would like that every one of you has the most important and solid information out there, and then you can decide. Now, just a few days ago, exactly last week, it came to my attention, somebody sent me a link of a product, of a brand of ammunition. That was kind of interesting because this ammunition was about pretty much drone-munition. Now, I don't know anything about it, I must tell you. The brand, the company that supposedly does this product, and I will ask right now soon to the CEO. It's called Snake River Shooting Products. Okay, but I want to learn. I'm here to learn. I want to find out if this product is really something that worth to look into it. Maybe just a great marketing idea. Don't get me wrong; that would be great enough for me. And maybe we have also a little talk about guns. And just to let you know, guys, his name is Casey Betzold. Hope I pronounced the name right. Casey, are you there?
I'm here.
Nice to meet you, Casey, and thank you for your time. I know you're a busy guy. Give us a little bit, first of all, I want to be sure I got it down right. What is the company you represent and you are we're talking today? What is the company?
The company is Snake River Shooting Products. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The company you said is Snake River Shooting Products. That's correct. And one of our brands of ammunition is drone-munition.
Okay.
Which we have for use with drones. So,
perfect. You're the president, correct? I never assume. I want to be sure.
I am, yes.
Perfect. So where is located this company? I like American's company, especially when it comes into guns and ammunition. Where are you located?
The company is located in Emmett, Idaho, just outside the capital city of Boise.
Okay, great. So this is an American company. And what do? You produce, let me be sure I got it right, ammunition and also some other products besides ammunition?
Most of it's ammunition products. We're partnered with companies for some other things, but what we produce is ammunition. We produce the Team Never Quit line of ammunition partnered with Luttrell, of the Lone Survivor from the movie that came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so that's a big project that we have going on, and then drone-munition, brand new project that we have going on as well.
Perfect. I must be honest. This is the first time I heard about your company. I'm very glad because I'm here to learn. That's one of the things I like about this show. It gives me the opportunity to learn a lot about the industry also. And I like to hear there are always, or at least hopefully, there are new companies like yours producing locally ammunition that we need so much. I watched some of the videos. It seems like you have a very good quality product. They are not just some general target ammunition. It seems like you got very good stuff. Now, specifically, what really brought my attention was this drone munition. And I want to make a premise here. I know you put also in your email, and I want to be sure everybody got it down. When you see something flying over your yard, before you start to shoot it down, always think about the safety of the neighbors, and more important, also think about your state and local laws, okay? I'm not telling here because you have you have drone ammunition allows you to shoot everything flies over your roof. So just be sure. That's something that we want to remind. But Casey, tell us a little bit about the specific round for shotgun, if I understand. Why is it so specific and why is it so unique? And why should we consider to buy it?
Well, what we did, Luca, with the initial thought process of the product, what we were thinking about, we were sitting with a company that is working on aerial targets. And they're based here in the western United States, and we were at SHOT Show in January in Las Vegas, and they have controlled aerial targets. So they fly them and control them around. Mm-hmm. They're meant to be fired at, and they fly them around a range, and it's a new type of target shooting. And there's also a more serious component of it too, as far as training aspects goes for specialized military training as well. So they have ground targets, air targets. They have a bunch of different things that they have going on. Specifically with the air targets, they had come to us and asked us if we could build a specialized shot shell of a specific weight and their length and so on and so forth for use in shotguns for shooting the aerial targets. And so as we put that concept together, we looked at different names for the product, and one of the names we came up with was drone-munition. And the reason for the concept as we created the product, the reason we liked it is one, there's a market for it with the targets, with the aerial targets, and two, the drones are in the news probably, as you know and see and hear all the time, almost every single day with something going on with drones. Sometimes some of the stories are positive, but most of them are negative for misuse of the product. Flying close to airports, flying over the top of burning fires on the freeway and impeding firemen, flying over up here where I live, they've been flying over the top of forest fires and making it difficult for aircraft to get in and drop fire retardant and fight the fires. And so I'm a former military guy, and we look at things through the eyes of potential threat. So as we've seen this misuse, we also have concerns about people misusing them in a threatening way. Obviously, impeding firemen's work and that sort of thing is dangerous and frustrating. But we're more concerned with people strapping things onto the drone. So what they're doing right now is cameras. And you mentioned it specifically right up front, which I appreciate a lot because, everybody, part of the pushback we're getting on the product is, well, it's illegal to shoot a drone down for the reasons of privacy. So why are you inciting people to go out and shoot drones down? And our response to that is the same every time. First of all, there's a lot of surrounding discharges of firearm for anything you do. For example, if you are a waterfowl hunter and you want to hunt geese, then you can have a shotgun and you can have a load of ammunition for geese, and you can have a permit, and you can have your goose stamp and your hunting license, and they can be goose season. But if I walked out my front door in my neighborhood and there's a goose on my step, I can't legally shoot that goose because it's a neighborhood and I can't discharge my firearm there. So everything else can be lined up, but I can't do that. So for example, we think the regulations are coming for drones with regards to privacy concerns. The same as if a peeping Tom walked up into your yard and looked in your window at night, that's against the law. But right now, if a drone does the same thing, it's not against the law. And there's no real law to cover that. You can call the police and say that you're being hassled, but there's no way to really trace that or track that properly. There's concerns, I should say. So while I can't walk outside of my neighborhood or even in the country and shoot a drone down right now legally, it does generate a conversation for that. Now, if the drone is causing a self-defense concern, then there is a legal application to defend yourself, the same as there is if a person is threatening you. So there is a real discussion there to have about it, and partly, that's why we went with the name and the branding that we did and the focus of the product. So
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, by the way, because everything that can encourage to sell ammunition, I love it. Okay, and I think we are living in a very interesting times. I agree. By the way, there was a gentleman that he was arrested because he shot a drone just out of his house. I think it was in Nevada. I'm not sure exactly, but just a few days ago. But the point is this one, guys. Every one of us lives in a different environment, different state, different county probably, with different laws and different also perimeters. For example, I live in Arizona, that one of my properties, I got 20 acres, and legally I can shoot anything I want, okay? And if I see a drone, I know that I can comply very well with my state laws and my county ordinances, and I'm fine. But if you live in another part of the world, just check it out. Now, this is great, because I tell you, I really believe that, first of all, the drone could be anything today. I don't care if it's from Mars or can be from a noisy neighborhood. It's our right to protect our freedom and also our privacy. And also, you never know, because now drones can also be armed, by the way. I'm sure you heard that. There was just an experiment. But more important is the concept that, you develop new products to adapt for these new necessities. Now, I want to play a little bit devil's advocate here, okay? Because, as you know, you're not a sponsor, and even if you were a sponsor, I would do the same. And that's why I love to talk with my listeners. We talk about straight things here, and every time I bring somebody on, it's just because I really want to give them the best. I have a shotgun in this case, any shotgun, doesn't matter. And I have, let's say, number 4 shot shell, stainless steel, okay? What would be the extra thing that if I buy your shot shell made just for drones, ballistically, how can you compare to a 00 or what I've just said, like number 4, for example, stainless steel? I mean, I'm just curious, because I'm sure after all it's a shot shell. There is no any magic formula.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely fair question. So basically what we've done with the way that we put the rounds together, on the surface, there's not a lot of difference. So basically, what we focused on was making a law enforcement quality shell that has a very tight pattern, reduces the chance of flyers, meaning we spent a whole lot more money on steel shot, and it is steel shot on this first iteration. It's a double, there's a 2-shot and there's a double BB option. And I've worked in the ammo industry with some of the best companies out there, and as far as what's required for law enforcement for pattern, it's very important that a law enforcement officer doesn't have a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a BB that's going to travel outside where the pattern needs to be.
Yes.
So that's a big deal to us. Like I said, the drone application of defending yourself against a drone is very difficult to do with a shotgun anyway, under the circumstance of a drone. You know, if a drone owner or a terrorist was to put an explosive on a drone and fly it into my home,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really going to be able to defend myself with a shotgun.
You got that.
And that's the reason for generating the product and the discussion in the first place. So
Mm-hmm. Good,
as far
good.
as the product goes, to answer your question specifically, it's a really, really high quality steel-based shotgun shell on the first iteration. There
Okay.
are 2 other technologies in development right now for additional anti-electronic, I'll say, platforms. And I don't want to get into too much detail on it until the product's ready to release. But the first iteration, we wanted to go really high quality, and we wanted to see what the response of the market was to the concept of a new threat that's out there, which we believe that misuse of drones is a real threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say this initially, but I always want to say when I do these discussions with people that I personally am not anti-drone. We actually have drones. We utilize them on the range for a lot of different operations because it's great. It's great. It generates great video footage.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a really great perspective of range applications and product testing.
Casey, I love drones too.
So-
You know, my own drones. I have a drones too that took video and photos of my own property, my own animals. But you know,
they're great. They're
Yeah.
absolutely great. Really
Great.
cool technology, and we like them a lot. And just like guns, I like guns a lot. But the threat to gun ownership in this country and anywhere else in the world is the misuse of that product.
Mm-hmm.
And the same is true for drones. The biggest threat to drones is the misuse of drones.
Exactly.
So,
like everything, you know, it's the person behind the drone. You know, you can have a drone and have fun and enjoy your freedom to use it and also have a lot of practical purposes. But at the same time, you know, there is a point that everybody should understand the respecting each other's rights and limitations. I mean, I wouldn't like to snoop with my drone, you know, to my next ranch owner when she goes in a swimming pool naked. Okay, I mean that's not my business. So that's the bottom line. Okay, so that's the point, guys. But I think it's a great idea. I really like it, and I'm quite, you know. By the way, if you go to the website, you know, you have a beautiful website, guys. It's snakeRiverShootingProducts.com, and I will post the link on today's show. It's more than just the drone munitions. They also have different calibers that they are from 7.62 by 51. I see also some 50 BMG, 338 Lapua mag. I mean, there is a lot of great stuff. 223. It seems all very great quality stuff. I mean, I don't know prices yet, but it seems like it's very good quality, made for professionals use. Now, just to have an idea, because you know, I like also to share prices here. An average box of this drone munition. First of all, how many come in a box and how much?
So the easiest way to explain that is they're close to $1 around at retail. It's up to the dealer to charge what they're going to charge.
Okay.
For the rounds, obviously, because we don't sell direct to the consumer. We sell to
Yes.
our customer base. So Lucky Gunner, LuckyGunner.com carries the products now.
Mm-hmm.
A partner of ours, Axelson Tactical, is a distributor and distributing those products as well. You can find them on their website. We've got several more dealers in process of setting up now that you'll start to see on their website soon. So the product is moving well. There's a lot of interest in the concept
Mm-hmm.
from anywhere from it's funny and we think it's hilarious and we'd like to have a box to we're really serious about it or to we just want to test it out and see how it does on targets and other things. So and back to your initial question, there's 2 box configurations. So there's a 25 box configuration, which is the 2-shot product,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a 5-box, which is the double BB product. So it gives people a couple options there, whether they want to try out a smaller run of product or a bigger run.
Casey, what I like about this product, forget about the drones or not, you know, is to have a good quality, law enforcement grade steel shots that pretty much can have a lot of more accuracy than the average stuff that you buy commercially, for what I understand. You know, for example, I'm sure you did your testing. With a smooth bore, okay, like let's say a Mossberg 500, okay, defensive basic shotgun, no chokes. At let's say 25 yards. What type of, normally the group is all open. When is this exactly you start to get out of, what is the distance, the magic distance that you start to have your span of radius that is, outside the typical 20 square inches group that could be in a body average chest of a person? I mean, I'm sure you did some tests.
Well, we do some silhouette target training, just like law enforcement does with their training rounds, or with their duty rounds, I should say, for buckshot application. And so at your standard ranges of 25 to 30 meters, you can stay inside that torso. You start to get outside there too far, past 30 meters, you start to have, outside the realm of the torso. And double DV does a little bit better than that.
Okay.
And we're actually working, one of the applications we're working on is a greater range with fewer, projectiles inside, which is a big deal. It's a big argument back and forth, and we're having a lot of discussion on this because a lot of people have said, hey, if I shoot 7.5 shot or 8 shot, I get a great big pattern, but I have a whole lot better chance of hitting a drone that's shooting by at 85 miles an hour. Well, like we said at the beginning, there's not a legal application right now for just randomly blasting a drone out of the sky if you're not doing it as a target application on your own range with your own target. So we haven't really built it from that perspective. We really built it around the concept of home and self-defense because that's the most likely application someone is going to use this product, whether that be a drone or not. It may not be a drone that's providing that, that threat. So we wanted a product that was a quality product along there. There is an application of marketing, obviously, to this, like we talked about, generating the discussion on drone products, and the misuse of drones. I want there to be an awareness of that. I'm a pilot also, so having the FAA blanketed regulations just thrown on drones is only a partial fix because the FAA regulations were not written with drones in mind because they didn't exist when they wrote those regulations. So we know there's new regulation coming. And as someone who is a pro-drone person, obviously we would all like to see those regulations make sense. And if we leave it to the government and the FAA to just do it based on when people are misusing the product, we can expect that the regulations that come will not make sense and generate a lot more cost and frustration to the drone owners. So
I agree.
Obviously, it'd be great if everybody was responsible with their product.
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of if we talk about it now before the regulation comes in 2017, which is when they think they're going to start working on drone regulations, then we can have a lot better discussion about how do we actually do this the right way. How do we actually protect against the misuse of drones? Because it's really not a shotgun shell that's going to do that. And it's self-policing. It's understanding how to track them. It's, what are the regulations and the permits that need to be in place for specific use? Because think about the law enforcement officer trying to enforce anything against a drone user who's got his drone, he's over a quarter mile away or a half mile away from his drone doing something he's not supposed to. Right now, how do you trace that? How do you find that person and cite them in any way for something they're not supposed to do? So lots of things there to talk about.
I agree. At the end of the day, as you said, this is mostly a great self-defense round for really good quality. But the point, guys, if you really want to go into defending against yourself, against drones, then probably the best way would be electronics. I'm sure some gimmicks coming out pretty soon. The free market will bring out, create some product easily to jam the frequencies that you can create a shield in your area of your home and you don't need to shoot anything. It's just going to fall down like a little potato. So I'm sure.
Yep. And there's been a lot of talk about that. I've heard everything as simple as training a dog to alert when there's a drone coming close to exactly what you just said. Some sort of a frequency jammer that stops drones from flying overhead. Obviously, there's a million frequencies flying around all the time, so that one's a little bit more complicated. But yeah, the whole point of this is sell some products, exercise our freedoms, put out a quality product, obviously, and enjoy the fact that we have the freedom in this country to have reasonable discussions still about things and sell products and make a living and have fun.
Let's use this freedom before they disappear, because every day it's a battle here, as you know very well. Listen,
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about yourself, because you're an interesting guy. First of all, I know you're married, you got family, so it's a good-looking guy. Ladies, don't try. I'm gonna post the photo of him, but it's busy already. Okay. But anyway, you look a very interesting man. And tell me a little bit about your background. You know, you say you were in the military. Exactly when did you serve and which branch of the military you serve, if you can tell me?
Yeah, sure. I graduated from college at the University of Idaho in 2001, went into the Air Force as an officer, started down the pilot track and ended up shifting over to the defense acquisitions, which is program management and large defense programs. I work specifically with the missile programs, with the nuclear deterrent land-based missiles, on sustainment programs for those and upgrade programs. And, left the military in 2007 and went to work for a defense contractor on the civilian side called ATK.
Okay.
ATK, as people know better in this industry, owned Federal and TCI and Spear and Blackhawk and a lot of the big names in the sporting industry.
Okay.
And I worked on the international sales aspect on the side of the sporting group, which is what they called it. ATK now has separated, and that new company is now called Vista Outdoors. They still have those great brands tied up with them. Great company, build great products. And then I left there at some point. I went to work for Beretta, which you probably know well, being an Italian company, and worked for them for about a year and a half while we worked on getting Snake River shooting products up and going, and yeah, it's been a fun ride in the industry. I've been in the industry about
now, if I can take
almost 8 to 10 years.
You created your own company right now, correct? This is your company.
Yeah, we're about 4 years in.
Perfect. This is exciting. I like to see, young men and start from working for corporate America, and then you start to create your own identity. This is exciting. I love this. Now, you mentioned Beretta. It's funny because the first gun I remember, my little memories when I was in Italy, I was a child, and normally in Italy you don't see guns because it's not like here. There is no Second Amendment. But the only reason why I had the chance to see a gun close by, because my grandfather, one of my grandfathers, was a policeman, was a police officer in the Italian state police. And I remember the first gun I saw was a Beretta, of course. I had also had to shoot a couple of times, but really never really had a chance to appreciate it the way I wanted to. And then I came to America, of course, years ago, and I started to get into guns, and I really enjoy guns. And then I started to choose my own gun, okay? I always say, try to train with one gun, because at least the way I choose to do it. I love to have several guns, but at the end of the day, I train with one gun. I pick my gun, it's my Glock 17, or at least the Glock platform. And I feel a little guilty now, because in all these years that I've been going through so many guns, I never really own a Beretta 92, and I have a lot of stuff, but I need to buy one now. Now, as I said at the beginning of the show is, I don't trying to push anything. I just want to have solid, real information for people to make accurate decisions, okay? So, you've been working for Beretta, now you don't work anymore, so it's even better. You're not even trying to pimp your products, okay? But you have the knowledge of this product. For example, let's compare a Glock 17, 9mm, with a Beretta Model 92, okay, on the market. And I'm here, a new person into this gun world, and say, okay, I want to buy my 9mm. Why should I buy a Beretta, in your opinion, if I should buy a Beretta 92 instead of a Glock?
Interestingly, I own both of those guns. I have a Glock 17 9mm, and I have a Beretta 92. I have a variant of the Beretta 92. I have what the Marine Corps variant was, which they call the M9A1 compact. And so I have both of those platforms. And being in the Air Force, I'd actually fired a Beretta on the military side several times. So going to work for Beretta was great. No, please go ahead.
Hello, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, now I hear you. Probably some drones that were trying to interfere with us. Go ahead, continue, please.
Okay. Anyway, so I have both platforms. And I think the biggest difference between them, obviously, everybody has their personal preference. When you buy a Glock, it's something you can really put through the ringer, and it's a preference on the way that it feels. I really like my Glock 17 a lot. I think my Beretta is more of a show gun. It's the Inox version, so it's stainless. So I don't put it in a holster and carry it around and wear the finish off. It looks really nice in my cupboard, and I really, really enjoy shooting that gun as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough for me to be the guy to tell you whether you should buy one or the other, because I actually love both of those platforms a whole lot. I'm just a pro gun guy, so I really enjoy guns.
And normally,
sure.
I like them all, as I said, but at the end of the day, I chose, especially with the rifle and handgun, I try to train with one platform so I don't get, my body memory, muscle memory, it's there. I mean,
sure.
From outside, what I like about the Beretta, honestly, besides it's a little emotional thing, I need to buy one period now just because my grandfather is probably rolling in his grave, I guess, at this point. I need to buy one. But the point is, what I really like, it's the history and also the beauty. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I tell you, it's a beautiful piece of technology. I really think it's the only thing that makes me a little bit propense more to the Glock. That the simplicity and the fact that under stress there are no external safety, and it's almost like to have a revolver. Of course, it's not a revolver, but it's so simple and so fast that the Beretta, I think, should need another level of training, probably, or maybe just.
You do. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. The Glock. You need a lot of training with the Glock to make sure you don't shoot yourself with it, because there's limited safety application to it. You need to be familiar with that weapon as well. I would tell any Glock owner, you need to shoot it a whole lot. But if you're going to go from a Glock to a Beretta, and to your point of training on one platform that you're comfortable with, I think that's very applicable, because when you go to a Beretta platform, you have a safety on the side, and you got to remember to flip that thing. There's a few more applications to that product. It's a very safe weapon. It's one I feel comfortable leaving my wife with at home. If she doesn't get a lot of training, and it's there, and I've showed her how to use that. It's got a safety feature. She's unlikely to shoot herself with it, which is nice. It absolutely needs a different application of training, different level, which is important. So
yeah, I mean,
I think you're spot on with that.
Whatever you choose, guys, train with that and stick with that. I mean, I think it is really important. By the way, the Glocks now, they're made the Beretta, they're made in the U.S. too, okay? So in case, you want to support an American-made product, they're made in the U.S. And at this point, I really believe it's kind of a little bit personal preferences. I still like I don't know. I still like propense for the Glock if I had to pick one gun only to go to war. I mean, first of all, I don't go to war with a gun. I would go with a rifle, but still, if I had to pick one gun only to own, I would stick with my Glock for many reasons also. But definitely, I have a Beretta. The closest thing now that I have to a Beretta that is not a Beretta, of course, is a CZ75, the same type of concept somehow, but it is not going to happen. So I need to buy one Beretta at this point. This week I need to shop for one. Where would any place? Normally I shop my guns on different websites, and I say to my listeners the name because I just try to give them the opportunity to find great things for great prices. And when I do this hour, I don't even have sponsors. I really try to get real information. For example, one of the best places I found for prices, it's budsgunshop.com for ammunition, for guns, and also now lately also Sportsman Guide, that they also sell guns and rifles. Where would you buy your Beretta beside your local gun shop? Any place would you suggest?
Gun Broker is always a good place to look. Down there where you're at, Scottsdale Gun Club does pretty well with guns, I think, for prices. I don't know them well, but I've talked to a lot of people that buy their guns down there.
Good. I never been there.
But Bud's Gun Shop is a great example as well, because I think they do pretty well for folks on their guns as well.
Yeah, and I remember when I used to do a few years ago, they used to have the GE credit card, okay? It was 4 years ago. You could apply for this credit card, and you had 6 and 12 months interest-free. Imagine how much the credit card, I was completely, but it felt so good, because you could buy great rifles that normally would be a little painful to get them all together, like M1A or whatever, $1,300, $1,400 rifles. And then you can put them on your little card, and every month you put out $100 or $200, and it's doable. So, unfortunately, G now it's gone. They don't finance any more gun stuff. So, regardless, they're still a great company. They give you layaway and different things. So, listen, I want to thank you. I like to see new blood into the industry. We need everybody. And please, if you shoot a drone, listeners, if you buy his shot shells, okay, and you shoot the drones, and then you get arrested, don't blame it on him, okay? It's your fault. That's want to be sure it's clear. But I need to order some of your shot shells, and I really want to try them out. And more important, I like to see, every shotgun I have, more important, every type of brand I have, at least for self-defense, I know the pattern, from, let's say, 5 yards all the way to 25. I want to know where is the pattern when it starts to open too much, that it cannot be contained into the chest of an opponent. So I really would like to do a test to get maybe a box of your product and to go to the range and start at 3 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, 15 yards, and 20 yards to see exactly with the regular Mossberg 590 A1 how this pattern opens. It's really interesting. I love to try stuff like that. Please say again one more time your product, your website, and I give you the floor. 30 seconds, whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Well, thanks again for having me on, and it's important to get on and get these opportunities. And if it wasn't for folks with shows like yours, it's tough to get the word out to folks. So I appreciate you guys doing that. And the product is drone-munition. The website is drone-munition.com. It also feeds you right into our parent company website, snakerivershootingproducts.com, where you'll find a lot more things there than just drone and the Team Never Quit project is fantastic. I urge everybody to check that out. And that money from that project goes to a good cause and supports veterans of the United States. And so I'm very happy to be aligned in those various projects that we have. And we've been pretty blessed and happy to have good customers and great folks like you, Luca, that cover us on the radio. So thanks again for having us.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, guys, don't go away because after this we have a little break and we're going to talk about news. There is a lot of going on when it comes down to news and the assault on our rights and also some training ideas. I have a new product that I bought that I can train to become a rifleman in the house safely with a laser for an affordable price. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. That was Casey Beatsholt. Interesting guy. I really like him. I like to see young blood, young blood even in the industry. Because we need American-based companies that produces not just weapons. Don't get me wrong. With that weapons, they're very important. But more important now, ammunition. Without ammunition, a weapon is just a piece of metal and plastic, okay? And that's the part of the plan of these globalists and the different politicians. They're trying to completely destroy the way that we, Americans, we, the people, have access to the way to defend this republic and to defend our rights. So, great job, Casey Beatsholt from this incredible new company that I really want everybody to go at least to visit and check it out. This is not a sponsor, as I said. It's a company that I did the research, and honestly, I didn't try the products yet, but I read a lot of reviews, and I watched a lot of YouTubes about this company, and more important about this ammunition. So go to snakerivershootingproducts.com, and I'll get some shot shell for myself. I want to try them out. So that's pretty much the story. Now, just to remind you, this show, it is not just kept on the air by the Holy Spirit. Don't get me wrong. I believe in God, and I believe in, the miracles, but in this case, we are still on planet Earth, and we need to help each other, okay? So I really appreciate your help, since, as you see, I try to work extra hard to get people out here, they are not sponsors. I mean, I just bring people here and companies and products that I really believe they can enrich you, they can give you value, they can give you opportunity to make the best accurate decisions how you invest your money. So I'm not manipulated by people paying me to say, okay, I gotta kiss your butt now because you're my sponsor. No, I'm here honestly. I just bring the best I think can be useful to you. But somehow I need some help. So the beautiful thing about it, I don't even need to ask you for donations or charity. No, I ask you to purchase some of my products. You know what I do for a living? One of the things I do, not only I make paintings, but also, of course, I paint with my gun. You can go check it out at Zanna Art. A-R-T, zannaart.com, and you can see my paintings. I all paint them with my Glock 17, so kind of a unique, different way to paint, and also the subjects, they're pretty in tune for what we're talking here. It's about freedom. And also I write songs, okay, so you don't need to buy a painting. In case you don't want to buy painting, you don't need to, but you can download for just 99 cents, less than the price of a cheap coffee. Let's see if I'm worth a coffee, okay, as a friend. You can buy any of my songs. You can go to Zanna, ZANNA.us. You can see there every one of my songs. I have more than 100 songs that I wrote and published since I came to America. Some songs, they are, about freedom. Some, they are about politics. Some, first of all, the same for me. But also, there are a lot of songs about love and different stuff. So, support the show very simply. There is no excuse. Little credit card, 99 cents. You can do it. Now, back to the show, back to the topic. Second hour, it's about guns, as I said. There are a lot of great things going on. I think the market is going back to be, for now, for a moment, good. At least when it comes down to prices for weapons. AR-15 platform, I mean, now you can see stuff for like $550, $600. I mean, there is so much. There is no excuse, okay? I know economy stuff, but there is no excuse. You should really get whatever you need to get it now. Because I'm telling you, as I talked to you before, especially during the first hour, with the economy, the way it's set up, we are very close to a big crisis. That's the point. This is not me saying it. I'm nobody. I'm just a guy with an accent from Italy. After all, what do I know? But there are experts, economists out there that have been predicting, and now you see it already in the news. And you can smell it. It stinks. Very bad. And unfortunately, you know very well, when people get desperate, they can start to do desperate things. More important, the government will create more desperation. So be prepared, be ready, and have everything you have. And yes, one of the things you must have, it's a shotgun. Remember, the pistol is to defend your person. The shotgun, you defend your castle. And then with the rifle, you'll defend your liberty and your country. So have them all, get them now. I want to remind you one more time, the Chris Cheng, my guest that I had a few weeks ago, this expert shooter that also is one of the, host or actors, how you want to say it, on History Channel, on this Big Shot show. We have this incredible opportunity for one person out there to win, one of you guys, to win this free diamond membership at Frontside, Nevada. $15,000 worth it. It's a lifetime membership that allows you to go to Frontside, Nevada the rest of your life and attend any class for the rest of your life. You don't need to pay anything, just the ammunition and the gas money, okay? Normally cost on their website $15,000. It's a big price. And by the way, Frontside is not even a sponsor. Me, myself, I'm paying for it, okay? I'm giving you this opportunity because I would like to have every law-abiding person out there armed and trained. So, and when you train, when you learn, share that training with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors. Don't keep it for yourself, okay? So how do you win? How can you win this opportunity? Very simple. You go to my website, www.lovegunsfreedom.com, and on the homepage, you can see at the bottom left, you can see how to do it. I'm not going to read it now to you. You go there, you check it out, okay? So that's very important. Now, what's going on? We're talking about different things. Well, first of all, there is always more trouble with the United Nations. We know very well what's going on, and I'll tell you briefly in a few seconds this document from 2013 that It's not really new. I read this probably 1.5 years ago, but now I think it must be put in perspective because things are happening, especially with Obama out of control. Look what's doing in many different issues. I think really we are facing now something that it could be part of this global agenda more and more to disarm us. There is this document that was a letter, Disarmament Commission, Civilian Weapons Confiscation Study Group, New York, the 29th, 31st July 2013. There is also a barcode, and I will post the link on lovegunsfreedom.com today. And this is very eerie because now there is a lot of more information. This letter was bad enough, but what they're trying to say here is pretty much they want to create a framework where these scumbags, them, the United Nations leeches, have pretty much, one more time, pretty much, I'm saying here, created this program, this plan, classification of military-grade weapons to be made illegal for possession, point number one. Point number two, creation of programs to provide reasonable compensation for voluntary surrender of said arms. I give you a reasonable compensation. Some lead, that's how you're going to get. Number three, codification of laws to begin the restricting and strict licensing of concealable firearms. Codification of laws to begin the restricting and strict licensing of hunting-grade firearms. And finally, codifications of laws to completely make any and all firearms illegal to own, possess, and use outside the military or military and law enforcement. This is their final plan. This is their final plan. Why you think they never stop? Why you think they try everywhere they can, even influencing the market, buying, the federal government buying humongous quantities of ammunition because they want to do everything they can to deny us our right. And why? Why? You think, even it's just we have access as regular citizens without going to special, class 3A license or stuff, just a rifle, semi-automatic rifle. But these bastards are so guilty. They know very well that millions of us, when we discover the truth and we decide to stand the line, even just as human beings, with a rifle and the will and the training, we could be a great deterrent against their tyranny. So they're so guilty, they're freaking out. So they want to get our guns because they know that when the guns are gone, like happened anywhere in history, and I don't need to remind you history, I already talked about this enough in the past, okay? Look what happened with Hitler. They do the registration, and then they go with the gun confiscation. Though that's the bottom line. They want this. Now, for example, I was reading on Italian newspaper, Il Quotidiano, that at Walmart, there was a news from August the 27th, Walmart stopped selling weapons, rifles. I mean, that's something I need to verify on the U.S. news, but that was from a mainstream Italian newspaper. I went to Walmart in Kingman, and I still see rifles. I don't know if this is all stock or not, but it's something to keep an eye on it. If you have any other information out there around the states, from different states, please let me know. That would be remember what's going on right now. The government is using corporations to create corporatism. It means fascism, the union between the government and the corporation. They can pay them off. They can control what they have to do, and they will do it. So I wouldn't be surprised that bigger corporations like Walmart will start to stop selling rifles. And that would be very bad for us because, we need to be able to buy rifles everywhere we can. And by the way, now you already should have your rifles, not even one. But still, so this is very important. Now, one thing about candidates, as I told you many times, I'm outside the left-right paradigm. I don't believe in Republicans or Democrats. They are both paid off, especially the top levels. They're all part of the same problem. But, I'm trying to be fair. I want to be out there and try to at least listen to the talk of what people are saying. One thing I tell you about Trump, and I'm not a Trump fan, and I'm not trying to endorse him, but I like at least his style, I must tell you. One thing is said that when happened this latest, I don't know if it's planned or not, but it doesn't matter. This shooting, the Virginia shooting, of that black guy shooting those two reporters. One thing is that this is not a gun problem; it's a mental problem. Okay, and it's not a question of laws; it's a question about people. And I agree. So that's the bottom line. We at least start to listen the keywords. And don't get me wrong, you know very well that politicians, that's what they do. They like to talk, and they can change their talk soon after they get elected. But regardless, still, something we should at least consider. Now, one rifle I would like to talk to you guys, before we go into the rifle, because I always try to find new products that you can buy even if you don't have a big budget, okay? Because sometimes the problem is everybody would love to have, I don't know, a beautiful M14, $1,500. But not everybody can afford the 308 like that. But before you go somewhere else and think you wait 2 years before you buy a rifle, buy something between. So I found something that I think it's a great rifle as price, value, and also can be accurate, it can be fast, and you don't need to spend money on magazines, because this is one magazine bolt action. Of course, it's good to have extra magazines, So I have one, I own one, and I thought it would be nice to share it with you, okay? It's an Enfield. An Enfield, normally, when you hear the word, listen to the word Enfield, you think it's a British rifle. Yes, the original it's a British, but there is also the Indian version. Okay, it's chamber for 7.62 by 51, not 308. I said carefully, even it's almost similar, it is not similar enough. So this is a rifle for 7.62 by 51. It's called the Enfield Ishapur 2A1 rifle, okay? Go check it out, because I will do a little YouTube about it. It's made in India. You can find, of course, also the defective ones. I mean, be sure you got a good one. But what I like about this rifle, first of all, the caliber, 7.62 by 51, it's a battlefield rifle, okay? This stuff, if I have to have one rifle only, that's the caliber I want, because I can do almost anything. I can take down any predator on 2 or 4 legs, and I can reach out much more than the average carabine 5.56. Okay, I can still be effective at 800 yards and knock bricks down. Okay, so it's not just also for flash; it's also for things, or for big things. So I like that. Normally, this rifle comes with a magazine that there are inside 12 rounds. You can also find aftermarket magazine. What I like about that you can load it up from the top with clips, okay? So it's pretty fast. But the beautiful thing is it's solid, it's wood, the buttstock, it's metal. You can really use it as a tool too. And the price. You can have, I bought mine for a few years ago for about $220. Now you can get probably a decent one for $300. But still, great price. You must be sure that the spacing of the chamber is done right. Sometimes can be problems. So if you buy one, have a gunsmith evaluating it. Okay, just be sure everything works. And do not run again the 308, the commercial 308. You want to run 7.62 by 51 for exactly the problem of spacing, because this rifle was made for the 7.62 by 51. So I tell you. You can read a little bit about the history about this rifle. It's, just find it on Wikipedia or whatever. But I'm not here to give you the history. I want to give you the practical things. It's a great rifle. It's affordable. It's very smooth, bolt action, very fast, and accurate enough. Put a sling on it, and you can defend your castle, at least as a rifleman would do, at a quarter mile, 500 yards. Everybody's going to put their heads down. Okay, so that's something I would suggest you to look into it. So, just ideas, as I said, and buy wherever you can find it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where to buy. You can find it on Gunbroker, you can find maybe a local shop, but just be sure you check the spacing. So that was an idea for the rifle. About ammunition prices, this week there is always something going on, and I like to find good stuff for the week. For example, there is a great deal, in my opinion, on botach.com for MagTech 9mm in brass, okay? MagTech, they are a good brand, and in brass, reloadable, even of course 9mm, it's kind of a pain to reload, but for $209 or $210, you can get 1,000 rounds and free shipping. Not bad. If you want to get instead a steel case for your rifle, let's say you have an AK-47 or SKS platform, 762x39, I would suggest you, this week I found a great deal on Cheaper Than Dirt for $219.59, 1,000 round. Now, 762x39, it's a great round, still affordable, but one thing I would tell you, if you have an SKS or AK-47, stock it up, because that's the problem. These imports, they're one of the things that really can go down fast. Especially with this United Nations treaty, I don't care. Of course, we know that it's unconstitutional and there is not even the support of the Senate so far. But, we have a crazy man, I don't even know if he's a man, whatever, a crazy individual, evil devil, bastard at the White House with an agenda that will not stop at nothing, and anything, So what's happening now? If they start to say, okay, we're going to start to put, 2,000% tax on imports from Russia. Here we go. How are you going to buy your 762x39 that you can afford now, for example, like the Tula that I just told you, are Cheaper Than Dirt, okay, for a very good price? It's going to cost you impossible. Maybe they're going to stop even the import. So stock it up. Every rifle you have, how much ammunition, people ask me? As many as you can afford. Okay, and as I said, I like cement floors, so I really can put a lot. So that's the bottom line. And I know, economy stuff, I understand, you gotta feed your family, that's true. But when you start to do your little, economy at the end of the month, your accounting, start to put priorities, Start to see how many, even going out for dinner, is really that needed right now? I mean, we're in such a terrible situation. I mean, to buy that extra useless coffee, you think is really worth it? I mean, it's up to you. That's what I can say. Now, talking about news, what's happening around the states, and this is exactly what I was talking. I mean, the federal government already has been trying to do it. Now, state and more important municipalities, they will go out of control, especially in places like Seattle. Seattle City Council advances new gun ammunition tax. Exactly what we were talking about. Okay, so you see, it is not that crazy, this concept. If you think it's never going to happen here, it's already happening. The Seattle City Council is expected to cast a final vote Monday. So let's see, it already happened. I need to double check on legislation that adds new taxes and regulations on firearms and ammunition sold in the city. The legislation, which passed unanimously, I hope I can say it right, Wednesday by the Education and Governance Committee. Think about the Education and Governance. I need to throw up. Would implement a $25 tax on firearms and a 5 cents per round tax on ammunition, and would force gun owners to report a lost or stolen firearm within 24 hours. I mean, I'm always trying to report a stolen firearm, but think about it. $25 on firearms tax and 5 cents for a round tax on ammunition. And why not 20 cents for a round on ammunition? Why not $1 for a round? I mean, the sky is the limit after all. Our overlords pretty much, here we go one more time, pretty much, said that they can do it. So it's up to us to stop it. You know what? Let me play a song dedicated to these bastards of the City Council of Seattle. I hope there is a special place in hell for rats like you. You are the scum of the scum. I hope you can hear me. Seriously, you are the worst. You're a bunch of commies. That's what you are. Fascists and commies the same way, the same time. People don't think it's exactly the same. In their opinion, government is God, and we are just servant to the government and how you can become a Serb. You must be disarmed. That's the bottom line. So you know what? You want my guns, you want my ammunition. I'm never going to pay $1 to you or any other body out there or anywhere else. If I had to buy and pay for a tax extra because you say so, I will become a criminal. Right now, I'm telling you. And I have a song I wrote. It's called Come and Take It. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna. Don't go away. Ready for our number 3.
Come and take it. 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 You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. One between your eyes. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. No more false illusions. Enough of your phony hope. You've stolen our son's future. Your empty words are like dope. If you want our guns, you want our souls. If you want our lives, here we stand in line. Come and take it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. One between your eyes. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. No more tears, no more fears. Let's have our last fear. Now time to fight. And freedom may never die. Come and take it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. One between your eyes. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. One of the reasons why I really enjoy doing this show is because, I have the opportunity to meet the greatest people and to learn from them. It's a journey. It's none of us knows everything. It's always, nobody will ever know everything, but we can try to improve. And it really is so important to try to learn exactly the most important thing we should care. Our body. Because, if we are sick, we cannot do anything. And more important, for me at this point, it's not anymore about just health. It's about freedom. We must know what are our rights. And a more important thing, our body is the most important real estate that we have. And nobody can claim ownership but us and God, if you believe in God. Now, I have with me a guest that I really appreciate his time. He's a busy person. And I learned so much from him, and I'm so proud of him also because, he's been not just a doctor. He's a doctor that is trying to get out of the box of the official medicine and trying to use his brain and his heart and trying to educate people about the dangers of vaccinations, especially this new vaccination. From the state of California, we have the honor to have with me Dr. Robert Rowen. Rowen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Doctor. Remember, we had an interview a few months ago, I think it was in March or something like that, before even this terrible legislation for the state of California that was the SB 277 when became law. Unfortunately, the state of California, at least the legislators voted for it. What is your feedback about what people can do right now, in your opinion?
Well, sadly, there's not a lot they can do. It's going to be very difficult to get medical exemptions because all of us in the field are concerned of exposing ourselves professionally. If we write medical exemptions, who knows, the government might come after us. When I say us, I'm talking about licensed medical doctors.
Wow.
Religious exemptions are now gone. I believe this law is unconstitutional, a violation of fundamental rights, among other things. And if you really want to do something about it, I say you recall or vote out your elected rulers. I see no other way.
Yes, I agree. And you say right, the elected rulers, because that's what they think they are. They're acting like rulers. And, and it's sad because the average citizen should understand that, first of all, beside that, as you said, it's a philosophical point of view. It's a basic right. We own our body, not the government. But there is also so much corruption. There is also there is an agenda behind. And there is no accountability by these different companies, corporations. They got pretty much a waiver now. And like tomorrow, let's say I produce a product and I have no liability. There is no recourse. But the state, we, the taxpayer, we will pay. Eventually there is a damage. So I think right there should be enough to get some sort of a warning signal. Now, Doctor, you've been right on many issues about this vaccination. I did extra research after we talked. I already knew about it. And I find disturbing that I really believe there is more than just a plan to make an extra dollar. I believe there is also a plan to make us sicker, because I really realize that all these vaccines, they are destroying our immune system. You have solutions, and today I want to talk with you about something that I didn't touch last time, and I'm really fascinated because I would like to learn, and so many of my listeners. It's about the ozone therapy. I have no idea exactly. I mean, I read a little bit about your site, but you are an expert in ozone therapy. Is that true?
Let's say I've been practicing ozone therapy for about 30 years, but I don't want to ever say that I'm an expert in anything.
That's good, but that's your profession. At least that's what you've been studying and improving. That's what you dedicate your life to. And tell us a little bit exactly. Me as a regular person, I would like to say, okay, I would like to explore the idea to be cured with ozone therapy. What is the basic system, 101 system? How does that work?
Well, we just published an article, and one could go online and get it. I went to Africa with a friend, and we taught some health professionals there how to use ozone therapy for Ebola. And we actually have 4 cures of Ebola that's now been published in a medical journal. Wow. And we were able to cure these Ebola cases in just a couple days.
So
now that's very significant. Ozone therapy typically involves treating your blood with a very active form of oxygen called ozone or O3. What you breathe in the air is oxygen O2.
Okay.
And treating your body with ozone causes many extraordinarily beneficial effects on improving your immune system, modulating it, on improving oxygen delivery, circulation, killing germs, pathogens. It's probably the most phenomenal treatment I've ever seen in my entire medical career. Personally, I think it does more for more conditions than everything else I've ever seen combined.
Yeah, interesting, because I was reading the concept, and there is something that unfortunately the official medicine still does not want to admit, but there is so much research and so much also verifications of this research. Now, for example, the official position of our friends, I'm being sarcastic here, from the FDA, how do they treat this ozone therapy? Do they even recognize it?
They don't. The FDA doesn't have much to do with it because they don't come in the doctor's offices. They're dealing more with movement of medical of drugs and equipment than coming in the doctor's offices. The medical boards, on the other hand, are interested in it because they are the ones who have the jurisdiction within the physician's office. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, in the state of California, we do have some enlightened legislation that protects integrative medicine, and the medical board has honored it. And I've even been before the medical board on ozone, and they have gone the other way.
Okay. And but the point, at the end of the story should be always the relationship between the patients, and the doctor. Should be a private contract. I'm over 18. If I want to be cured with ozone, it's my business, and nobody should stop me. I can sign a waiver. I understand that I'm pretty much in the full knowledge of my decision, but I should have not any type of regulations if I want to choose ozone, especially after I decide to do so. But is there any special product, like, let's say, beside that, there's some, I think, hardware, some sort of equipment that you inject, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to understand these extra quantities of this special oxygen, ozone, into your body. Are there also supplements that you can take to create this benefit?
Well, in terms of supplements, not really. There's one supplement that is advertised or is out there called MMS, or Master Mineral Supplement, that's based on a chlorine oxidant, which I have heard anecdotally have some phenomenal benefits for people. Mm-hmm. But ozone has to be made on site. You have to make it fresh.
Wow.
So if you want to use ozone itself, then you would need a machine that would make ozone out of pure oxygen, and you could use it for a variety of purposes. In fact, I just took ozone this morning rectally because I like to do it almost every day. I think it keeps my immune system up, and it keeps me younger.
Wow. It's funny. I found a friend on Facebook from Italy. We went together to the military academy when we were younger. And after so many years, I found out that he's a doctor from Rome. And his name is Dario, by the way. He may listen to the show, Dario. And he's a doctor that in Italy is one of the few doctors specialized in ozone therapy. And he gave me I want to learn more, because I said, wow, look at this. I was talking to you months ago. We were talking, of course, about vaccines. And now I was talking about him about this ozone therapy. It must be something that I really would like to share with my listeners, because I really believe, unfortunately, we've been not told the whole story. They just tell us what they want. And when it comes down to healthcare, there are so many other remedies that we should be at least have the right to know and to decide. So let's say, for example, I live in Arizona, and I want to start to cure myself. What type of disease can I cure with ozone? You say about the immune system. I mean, could I cure like a flu, or I could cure like a virus?
Ozone will help your body overcome a variety of conditions. Mm-hmm. Ozone has been shown to be extraordinarily useful for circulation problems like heart disease, peripheral vascular disease, You can inject ozone into joints to help regenerate cartilage and walk again.
Wow.
When your knees might be totally shot. It can be used for autoimmune disease. I have a case of a man with very significant autoimmune disease. It's called dermatomyositis, and he was cured with ozone and addressing infections of his teeth. As I told you, what ozone does is it helps the body to heal itself.
Wow.
So it's going to help just about everything out there.
Now, does the insurance, for example, let's say I'm a patient, that I live in your area. I have a basic, one of these human insurances or whatever. Does it cover this type of treatment?
No, because it's not standard of care.
Okay, so there would be something paying cash. I understand. But,
that is correct.
Okay, but you know what? Sometimes people, that's why I say you got to start to learn and make your own researches. Because I tell you something, doctor, I am not a doctor. I'm just a regular guy. But since I was a child, I started to learn that many things from the official medicine I was trying to get cured with, they didn't cure me. They were just trying to somehow suppress the symptoms. Nobody really came close to the source of the problem. And I got lucky when I was in my 15 years old. I found an homeopathic doctor that solved some very, not serious, but some pretty painful health problem that I had that no other doctors was able to stop, definitely. And so I always had an open mind, because I said we need to find a way, instead of keeping, eating pills and drinking all this whatever it is, that all it does, keep the problem down for a moment. We need to find a way we can somehow activate our body to defend itself, to regenerate itself. And I'm really excited now that I found this ozone therapy with you and my friend in Italy. I want to learn more, and I would like also to incorporate, can we remind our listeners exactly where is your studio? Where is your office?
My office is in Northern California, Santa Rosa, about an hour north of San Francisco.
Okay, little far away from me, but if I ever come around, I would like to be your patient, maybe even just for one ozone therapy. I know you're busy, I understand that. And do you ever go around to other parts of the states for seminars, or maybe, I don't know, sometimes the doctors have other type of offices around the states?
No, I don't, but I've trained many doctors in California, and for the people in Southern California, they could easily find somebody I've trained in Orange County or the Los Angeles County area.
Perfect. Listen, doctor, I would like to say, first of all, thank you again for everything you do, not only as a doctor, but as a human being, because I've been receiving your newsletters, and I also am Facebook friends, and I see all your activism that you've been trying to do, and you're still trying to do, to at least wake the people up regarding this fascism of this forced vaccination and the dangers. And I also realize it's a risky job, I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. Are you familiar of the different doctors that they pretty much were critics about vaccines in the last few months? All they were found murder or maybe just committing suicide. Are you familiar of this suspicious death?
I'm aware of it, but I can't say that it's due to vaccines.
No, we don't know.
There's been several doctors who have died, and we don't really know what the circumstances are around their death, but some of them are suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. Of course, I have no proofs to say one way or the other one, but for sure it was a kind of a strange circumstances and timing that all these doctors, they had one thing in common, that they were all pretty much vocal, exposing the danger of vaccines, and they all dying like flies. So something that, unfortunately, we're talking about like the mafia. I think the mafia is more honestly sometimes, because at least with the mafia you can always shoot back. Here pretty much is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they don't want people to be informed and to be free to make the right decision. And when somebody like yourself or any one of us start to speak up, especially if you're a doctor, you have more credibility than many of us. So I really pray for you, doctor. And I appreciate what you're doing. Can you please give your website so people can go find you and maybe, just join your Facebook page?
They can go to www.dr-rowen, DOCROWEN.com. That's our office website. And then there's links to every other place they need to get to.
Perfect. Doctor, I want to thank you. I want to leave you the floor. 20 seconds. You can say whatever you want. Go ahead.
If you've got a medical challenge and you're not getting the relief you want with chemicals, which generally just suppress symptoms, I would strongly suggest you try to find somebody who can practice oxidation medicine to help your body begin to heal itself.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Rowen. Guys, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
La 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 la. Little every day, they're sucking our blood, they're stealing our lives away. If we are too busy, we're too afraid, we already lost our soul, we're already their slaves. Now is the time to stand for our rights. Now is the time to pray and fight. Fight! Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time to show who we really are. Revolution, a peaceful solution, but we're not afraid to stand for what is right. The day will come when we'll all be gone. What are we waiting for? Let's live with honor. Let's go. They've pushed our limits. Where's our pride? Are we already dead? Or are we still alive? Look at the mirror, go find your soul. You are the answer now. You go! Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time to show who we really are. Revolution, a peaceful solution, but we're not afraid to stand for what is right. Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time. A peaceful solution, but we're not afraid to stand for what is right. Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time to show who we really are. Revolution, a peaceful solution, but we're not afraid.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid,
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid,
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid,
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. Normally I do not take phone calls because this show is being pre-produced and sent to the radio station or to the different internet channels. But I really like to hear your feedback, and I would like to remind you, every one of you listeners, that if you want to be on the show, and I really don't have any censorship, okay? You can say whatever you want. All you have to do is stay FCC compliance, okay? So we need to just follow that rule. For the rest, it's fine. So if you want to be on the show and say whatever you want to say, even about criticism or whatever, you're welcome. Just please send me an email through my website. You go to lovegunsfreedom.com and you will find my email. And I will call you in, and we can record the conversation, and I'll put you on the show. Now, I have a great guy that I never met before, really. It's from Ohio. And today he wants to start to say some feedback about my show, and I appreciate it, whatever he's saying. That really gives me the motivation to stay on the air. People like you with your feedbacks. Now, his name is Dale, and he's from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. Dale, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Dale. We never talked before, and I'm glad that you instant messaged me today. And I want to give you the floor. So I promise I'll shut up, and you can say pretty much whatever you want. Let's just stay within the topics of the show, normally what I talk about. Go ahead.
Absolutely. First, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity. I hear a lot of different talk on the internet, and normally I'm not always in agreement with the majority of the alternative media. I believe that I think we need to take a broader approach to these issues and focus less on what they're doing that is contrary to what we need to be doing as humans, and focus on solutions and unity. And I would associate myself with the militia, but I think today through the media that it's almost you alienate yourself when you like to associate yourself with the militia, through the media and their demonization. And I think we need to focus on more of what we want to stand for and what we fight for, not necessarily the fight. And more so along the lines of what our outcome, focus on what our outcome will be, not necessarily the means.
If I can ask you questions, how did you find out about the show? My show, it's a local radio station in Mojave County, Needles, California, in Arizona. How did you find out about the show, and when?
Well, basically, I just Googled Corky, and I found your show through there. And then I got on Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook until about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I found you on Facebook. I definitely support your message, considering, 90% of alternative media that likes to affiliate with the militia tends to be, ignore the humanity. Like the title of your show is Love, Guns, and Freedom. Most are hate guns and freedom, dissidents, guns, and freedom. And so immediately I was attracted to your show. And
thank you. I appreciate it because, it's true. What I'm trying to do is to show that, first of all, we are human beings. And sometimes people try to just generalize. You think, okay, you believe in the Second Amendment or you are part of the militia, you must be some sort of a monster that, you eat children for breakfast. No, we are human beings. We have fathers, we have mothers, we are women, we are whatever. And the point is we are here concerned and we want to use every tool that we have as Americans to defend our basic rights, the simple in this republic. That's the bottom line. But I really believe, that's why I call this show Love, Guns, and Freedom, because first of all, we're human beings, and even with our imperfections, I think love is the most powerful weapon, and the love is what motivates us to do things. How can you be motivated, for example, I don't know, Sunday, and you need to go out there, and it's very hot, it's 105 degrees, and everybody's at home, with their air conditioning, watching TV, and you motivate yourself to go out and train and to do things that normally the average person wouldn't do, because you love your country, you love your freedom, you love to defend your family. That's what I really mean. And more important, I like to try to reach out people that normally they don't see the same way we do, because I really believe we need everybody, especially women, because the women is going to be the trainers and the educators for the next generation. We need mothers out there that understand the values that we're losing. So it's kind of my little format, and on top, I got an accent, and I like pasta, so the last hour normally I like to plug a little bit of my stuff. But listen, what's going on in your part of the world, Cincinnati, Ohio? Are you exactly in the city or outside in the country?
I'm in a more rural area, but I'm definitely plugged into the media pipeline around here, and it's more aligned with the Fox News type.
Mm-hmm.
No mention of global tyranny, no mention of the whole laundry list of atrocities that are happening by their hand. So, it's a struggle. That's why we connect to people across the nation, across the world.
If I can ask you, are you married, you got family, or you're a single man right now?
I'm single.
Okay, not because I wanted to have a hit on you, but, I wanted to remind you, I don't know if you heard some of my shows, I created last year a website for like-minded singles that is not just for singles, also for people that are already married and they want to just find people that would believe in the same core beliefs in freedom and respecting each other. It's called freedomlovers.us, okay? And it's free, 100% free. We don't even ask you for credit card. It's completely free. You can create a profile, upload photos, videos, and of course, everything you want. You can create blogs, and more important, you can start to find like-minded people. And the idea was originally just for dating, to find men and women or whatever you like between, to find each other, but also for networking. Let's say you want to find patriots in the same part of the area where you live, or even cross the country to be in contact. So I invite you to go to freedomlovers.us, check it out, and if you like it, it's completely free. Just join. And maybe you can find a friend, maybe you can find a woman who believes in the same thing we do. What do you do normally in your spare time? I mean, do you train with rifles, or do you go to the range? What do you do?
I'm not bad behind the trigger. I consider the brain our biggest weapon right now. I think we need to develop understanding of our threats outside of a gunfight. Even though I absolutely think we should all be armed, I think that's a basic human right to be able to defend yourself. But I see past the gunfight, 50 past the.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. The first weapon we have is our heart and our brain. And now, more important, they are afraid that we are waking up. And that's why I think the most powerful thing we can do is start to share information, educating our fellow neighbors and family. That's the most powerful weapon we have. At the same time, I really believe that we need to have a B plan. And regardless, could be for a small emergency, could be for every type of scenarios. Normally I talk this on during the show. And I think it's also, if you like it, it's fun, but also I believe it's a duty and is some sort of a skill that we should all have, men and women. But listen, I really appreciate your call, and I appreciate you coming forward. And I thank you. You people like you give me the motivation to stay on the air, because I'm telling you, it's a weekly radio show. It's kind of an effort, and I'm just a regular guy, and I try to put every week as many guests as I can. It takes time, but I really do. I want to give you the floor. Last 20 seconds, whatever you want to say.
All right, thanks. I'd just like to shed some light on some of the more forthright efforts they're doing to silence certain outspoken people that are contrary to their agenda, and I am one of those targeted people. It's not a walk in the park, but considering what they're doing to us, I would have signed up for it. And there are a lot of people behind the lines right now fighting and dying that no one knows about. And we do it gladly, and we're all in this together.
Thank you, Dale. How old are you, Dale, before I let you go? I'm curious.
28.
Wow, you're a young man. You know, you give me hope. You know, you are pretty much the generation after mine. I mean, before, and really we need everybody, especially the youngest generation. I'm glad that you're here, you're listening, and you're using your brain. Thank you, Dale. Guys, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zahn. And please don't forget, if you want to be on my show, I welcome you. Just send me an email, zanna@zanna.us.
If the government we organize under the People's Constitution survives the next 20 years, it may go on forever.
George Washington said that government is not reason. Government is not eloquence. It is force. And like fire, is a dangerous servant and a fearful master.
In the last 20 years, we've seen an acceleration away from our Constitution and Bill of Rights and towards absolute despotism.
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic. If you can keep it so. You have been warned. All men are created equal.
A pure democracy establishes majority rule with a minority overrun.
Yes, it does. On the other hand, our republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights. And it's important, too, that in our republic, authority is surrounded by an ingenious system of checks and balances.
It is these freedoms that have made America strong.
Okay, so we got our freedom, but management's lousing up everything.
There are tough times on Main Street. Unemployment reached double digits and small businesses are struggling to stay alive.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
We kind of agree with Mao that political power comes largely from the barrel of a gun.
Hurry, step right up, folks. Here's the answer to your problems. Dr. Utopia's sensational new discovery isn't.
In Russia, they don't allow protest except for free speech zones. The United States has adopted that. In communist China, they only allow authorized demonstrations. We now have the same system here. And if you notice, our media doesn't criticize Russia's tyranny or China's oppression anymore because they would look like hypocrites if they did. Our government is doing everything that dictators do.
We're going to pay you to sell out your own citizens.
People in very high power places of power that are laughing at people who bring up the Constitution.
I don't worry about the Constitution on this, to be honest.
That's it.
Jackpot, brother.
Rights and privileges are opposites.
A privilege is something that's given to you by someone or some entity that has authority over and above you.
They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Here we go, guys. That was the trailer. At least it was the trailer that InfoWars, Alex Jones, in 2010 put together with the documentary, for the documentary, Don't Tread on Me. Why I'm bringing this up? Because unfortunately, there are bad news, sad news. Probably many of you already know the name. He's still, but unfortunately he's gone. At least he left his physical bodies. William Lewis is a movie director, was a patriot. He created a lot of different documentaries in this freedom movement, okay? And among those was Don't Tread on Me, that was released in 2010. And I just play a little bit of the trailer of this documentary. Unfortunately, William Lewis left us. You know, he was already, he had some health problems. And he left us a few days ago. You know, I had the honor to work with him, even never in person. I never really met him in person, but I talked to him over the phone and via email. When he produced this documentary, I just finished at the time to produce my CD, Don't Tread on Us. And the main song of the...
Get a good look!
Here we go. The main song of my album was Don't Tread on Us. So I sent it to him, and he liked it. He liked the lyrics, I guess. He liked the message, and he liked the... so he chose the song to use it at the end of in the project during this documentary. So anyway, very sad, because William Lewis was a great guy. I watched every of his videos. He did great DVDs. For me, one of the best was 9/11 in Plain Sight. I also watched 9/11 Ripple Effect, Take Back Washington, and of course, Don't Tread on Me. He died with a medical complication. I think he suffered of a heart attack, a stroke, and he had some problem with diabetes. So all I want to say, a prayer for him and his wife and his family, and I know he's going to be in a better place. That's all I can pray. And he was 47. So I wanted to bring this. Why? Because it's also connected to what we're doing here in this show, especially the documentary Don't Tread on Me. I have friends from Italy or from Europe that they're still a little confused. They think the word democracy, it's the way to go. It's a good word. And let me tell you, I went through the stage. I was born in Italy after all, and I went through all the different re-education programs through the Italian public system, education that you're forced to go anyway. There is no even homeschooling. So, and the point is, they want to tell you that we are a democracy, like they've been trying to tell us here the last 30 years at least. The problem is, that's why I like this documentary, Don't Tread on Me. It really explains well the dangers of the concept of this form of government called democracy against the form of government that we're supposed to have, that we're supposed to be a constitutional republic. So I invite every one of you who wants to refresh your memory, also educate others to get this document. And in this way, also you support the family of late William, because it's very, very important. William Lewis is gone. His family is still there, and I'm sure they need the support too. So that's what I'm saying. Now, going back to the concept of this democracy and against republic, the problem is with democracy that 51% of the people, the mob, in this case demos people, they can decide, they can vote how much money they can get from you, what type of behavior you can have, how to live your life. Simple as that. And this is also supposed to be very important for both political parties, for both sides. If you're in the left, you should be really concerned about this. And so if you're in the right, because the point is, you never want to be in a democracy. For example, I'll give you an example. Let's say you are, this left-oriented mind, okay? And don't get me wrong, I don't believe in left or right. It's supposed to be about right or wrong, freedom against tyranny. But, let's say the typical left-oriented mind believes that in the right to marry same-sex marriage, okay? You know what? After all, why the mob should decide what you should do in your private life? And as you see, no, I'm not right, I'm not left, I am for individual rights. And that's exactly my point. Right now, we are in the situation that we need to go through a Supreme Court, we need to go through a judicial system, or even more, people voted that they say that this cannot be a right for you. What in the hell? Government should tell me what should I do in my private life if I want to, marry a woman or a man or whatever. So that's the point. So do you see, if you're a lefty, you believe in democracy, look where you're stuck now. That all we need is 51% of the people, or a majority of the Supreme Court can tell you if it's right or not. The principle is supposed to be that when you do not infringe on other people's rights, you should be able to do whatever you want. Same story with guns. I have a right. I have a right to carry a weapon with me. The point is that right is not for vote. You cannot decide, 51% of the people tomorrow they can do let's say, some sort of a referendum, say no more guns. Guess what? Screw you. I couldn't care less. You can vote even 99.9% that you say no more guns. That's my right to defend my life, to defend my freedom, and to defend me as a human being with my dignity. And no, I'm not going to give up the right. So that's the difference. We're supposed to be in a constitutional republic. But the problem is when we have been brainwashed that you are in a democracy, what happens? The elite, that they control the media, they control the propaganda machine, they can control the masses to vote accordingly. And now they want more and more masses at the polls, more uneducated than ever. That's what they're doing. That's why also like the same things in Europe. They're giving citizenship to people that they have no any type of education or background or identity, and they're just going to vote, and they're going to vote to get more out of your money. This is also another very important danger of democracy. When the voters, they understand that they have that type of power to vote themselves, more money, more power, somebody has to pay for it. That means somebody has to lose, somebody has to become a slave. So that's all I'm saying, you know. And I wanted to say that also to my friends out there, especially in Europe, you know, please. I understand you have been brainwashed, like I was brainwashed. And I understand, more important, in Italy does not exist this concept of a constitutional republic. Every country, every European country, they've been told that you are a democracy. And that's the problem. So that's why I say, guys, please have an open mind, start to learn, because we need to take back our freedoms wherever we are, not just in America. And of course, we have this problem also now in America, because many of our youngsters, if you go in a public school or any school, even in high school, even in the university, even on the streets, you tell them, what type of form of government are we? Are we a democracy? They say, hell yeah. And that's the problem. So I wrote a little bit of a line, very simple, that resumes or sum it up, this concept. With democracy there is no freedom, but just a legalized theft of our individual rights and property, where a coward group of people hides behind the violent arm of the government to tell you how to live your life and how much of your money you can keep. That's the bottom line. That's my definition of democracy. Now, let's talk a little bit about very important thing, you know. This is the hour about love, and we talk with dr-rowen. For me, it was very important part to understand that there are, first of all, different knowledges, different information about how to cure yourself. You know, even this ozone therapy is very important. Reminding everybody the dangers of vaccine, especially forced vaccination. That's part of the democracy. The government claim ownership over your body. The majority tells that you have to comply. So we gotta stop it. Now let's talk a little bit about this Kentucky situation. The county clerk that pretty much said that gay marriage license will not be given to people. She's in jail. She was in jail. I think she's still in jail because she refused to comply with this court order. So it's a contempt of court. Now, you know my position about gays and gays marriage. I couldn't care less. Seriously. What you do in your private life is none of my business. And I don't have the arrogance to tell you how to live your life. Even if I may think that according to my religious belief that you're doing something wrong, who am I to judge? Nobody. I'm just another sinner. So that's my position. Very simple. At the same time, of course, I ask you to do not do in front of my face things that I may not be happy about it, to respect my rights. Like I would ask the same way to a regular heterosexual couple. I mean, somebody has to start to pack and smack and kiss in front of me at the theater. That's not right. I mean, do that in the bedroom. Same story if you're a gay. Honestly, I don't want to witness that. It's none of my entertainment, okay? So, but that's my point. So, I don't want to start to hear about, you don't like gays, or I don't care what you think, honestly. But the bottom line is, this is my official position. So, but when it comes down to marriage, let me tell you where I stand. I think the marriage idea is a fraud. The license idea is a fraud. And this is exactly proven to you also, guys, in the gay movement, okay? Think about it. You are begging to be part of this fraud now, or this scam. Why? Yeah, you want to have the right to marry. That's fine. You have the right anyway. The government, the moment that you ask to the government for that, is no more a right. It becomes a privilege. And you have the proven right now with this situation in Kentucky. Because after all, you need to have a license. And if this woman doesn't wake up right in the morning, doesn't want to give you the license, you're, how you say, crap out of luck. I mean, you're done. So think about it. In my opinion, that has been the biggest fraud, and it happened exactly after the Civil War. Because let me tell you guys, many of you may not know it. You think this is the way to go. No. Before the Civil War, there was not the marriage license. You go in front of your own God, in front of your church, in front of witnesses, and you establish this union, this marriage. It's between you, it's a contract between you and the other person. After the Civil War, the government was very concerned, hypocritical of course, because supposedly they went down there for emancipated slaves. Yeah, right, it was about completely different, but that's another story. The point is they still did not want to have interracial marriages. So they released these licenses. Go figure it out. I'm not making it up. If an immigrant like myself found out, I'm sure you can find out. So that's the point. Now, after that, we all became slaves. Because now you think every time you want to get married with somebody, you must go to ask for a license. So automatically, you see now in Kentucky, that's not your right. It's a privilege. That's the difference. Means that the government can decide or not if they want to give it to you, that privilege. So what is the position? First of all, a woman, in my opinion, as much as I can respect her convictions, or at least her dedication, let's put it this way, at least she seems to have some beliefs. But the point is wrong. Because at the end of the day, this is not like something that you are doing with them, okay? It's their choice to eventually, according to your belief, commit a sin, if that's what you believe. But, hey, you're not them. Let them do what they think is right or wrong for them. After all, we have free choice. After all, we're supposed to be free even to make mistakes. That's what's about choosing. That's about also the message of Christ. Not everybody's safe. You must choose to follow if you want to be saved. So it's very arrogant for me to have a woman that she thinks now she's playing the role of God. Forget about following or not the laws. Because I would have, of course, complete respect for a nurse who refuses to perform an abortion. That's different. Because at that point, you are committing a crime too. And I believe that it's a crime, in my opinion. You are killing an innocent, young, little person who cannot defend himself or herself. I would go to jail myself. I don't care how many laws they do. I'm not going to perform an abortion. I'm not going to even help you to give you that scalpel or the scissors or to kill the little baby. No. But in this case, they do not harm anybody else but themselves. Those two individuals, male in this case in Kentucky, that they wanted to have this gay marriage, they are above the legal age to understand, so they are above 18. They are completely understanding what's going on. Nobody's being forced. They have the right to do what they want to do. And who are you, lady, to tell them how to live your life? Remember, I'm not an expert in Bible, but remember there is a part in the New Testament that says, Jesus says, hey, before you start to judge other, look at the chip of wood that you have in your eye. Something like that. So this is my humble opinion. I hope it was clear. And yes, I really believe that it's not our job to judge others, especially when other people, they are not endangering other people. That's the bottom line. It's their choice. So much for the gay marriage license. I hope you're happy now, guys. You're part of the scheme. We are all slaves, and you have to submit like the rest of us. Not me, because I'm not going to get married. And if I going to get married again, I would never go through the official license, court, whatever. Let me give you my solution. People say, okay, what is your solution here? How people could get married? After all, we need to guarantee some rights to both parties. I agree. Marriage is a serious stuff. But let me tell you how we would do it. First of all, the government doesn't exist. There's nowhere in the Constitution or any way in the Bill of Rights the government is supposed to be the one granted me a right or a privilege, in this case, to choose my other partner. Screw the government. It's supposed to be a private contract between two individuals, okay, where we share responsibilities and we share the benefits. Now, very simple. Let's start with the Notarized Act. An authorization that you put in front, even if you don't believe in God. Let's say you don't want to go to a church, that's fine. You can do in front of a notary, write down a contract. My name is, your name is, in today's date, we officially marry each other. That means, and we set the rules. We're going to share a house, we're going to share a bank account, we're going to share responsibilities, the good and the bad. Period. Signed and, notarized. Then if something's happening in the future, let's say you want to dissolve this union, you know what? You already had a contract and everything's written there. And then if you're not happy the way it resolves, you go in front of a judge. Simple as that. And then when you want to dissolve this contract, you can write another contract with both parties agrees. Our union is being dissolved. Think about it. Simple solution. You don't need a big daddy's government to give you any right. You already have the right. This works for gays, lesbian, straight, whatever between. I don't care. So that's my humble opinion. Say the government to go to hell and leave the marriage alone, okay? That's the point. And this lady in Kentucky, take a life, seriously. We got so many problems in this country. Another thing I want to say, though, in defense of the rule of law is supposed to apply to everybody, okay? That means this lady, in this case, since she's not, as I said before, it's not like she has to perform an abortion or anything like that. She just needs to give a freaking license to two people that want to do whatever they want to do in their bed. That she's supposed to comply with that law, in my opinion. But at the same time, look at situations like the Hillary Clinton email scandal. That is not a scandal, it's a travesty. It's a crime. I don't care if it was a Republican or is a Democrat. The point is, there was a general, what is the name of the other general that I forgot? Anyway, general just a few months ago, famous general, he used to be in charge of the CIA, that it was found out that he leaked a couple of emails to his girlfriend, okay? Or his lover, whatever. He had to go through, even was a slap on his wrist, okay? It was nothing really serious, but still, he was demoted, he has to lose job and pay fines, whatever, for a couple of private emails that they were, of course, containing classified information, okay? Petraeus, General Petraeus. Now look at Hillary Clinton, that not only emails, we're talking about a server erased, talking about a serious crime. I mean, many of the people went to jail for much less. So that's the sad thing, I mean, the rule of law is supposed to apply to everybody the same. That's my point. This is the very important point. So anyway, this is pretty much the hour about love, what I want to talk to you today. Now, let's not forget about things. There are animals dying everywhere. In Russia, just last week, in 4 days, more than 60,000 antelopes. There is an article about that. I mean, think about it. Something's going on. Whales are dying everywhere. There is something going on this planet. I told you already in the first hour, there is a moment that, beside the economy, I have the feeling, this is just my human feeling, that we are facing a very big threat. I hope to be wrong, but something is not right. If these 60,000 antelopes, they're dying, if it's a virus or if it's some sort of biological, we don't know. Radiation, I don't know. But the same things could happen to us as humans. So anyway, that's all I want to say. I want to remind you that if you want to support the show, it's an act of love. I'm here to try to bring you news that normally you wouldn't find somewhere else on the most commercial radio station. And I do this as an act of love. It is not exactly, sometimes it's tiring, make me feel tired, and takes a lot of my energy, I must admit it. But I'm here, I try to do this the best I can. If you want to support it, go to my website, Zanna, Z-A-N-N-A, art.com. You can download any of my songs for 99 cents, or you can, of course, get any of my paintings. There are also, for example, there are the new items from the collection that I have, confederate.gifts.us. So the different things, print, everything, you can help the show. So I appreciate it. Now, recently I was told from my Italian friend that, I had the courage to immigrate to America years ago. I said, the truth is, my dear friend, that desperation can be the biggest source of courage. I still remember at 29 years old, leaving that morning by bus to go to the airport with 2 luggage full of dreams, full of hopes and fears, to start again in a new place, new language, new friends, not knowing where and how to make it. It was like jumping in the dark room and letting the door closing behind you. I thank God for the help and strength, and my mother for always supporting my choices, even the most extreme. And I want to thank really the opportunity I've been given even through this radio show to meet incredible people, to talk to you and learn with you. And I hope we can do it together. And I hope, I really do. I know there are people out there hate me no matter what. That's fine. But I also have a lot of friends really that I never met, but I feel your support. I read your emails and I appreciate it. But I want to try to reach out, especially the people that they think we are on different sides. The point here, guys, that I have no side, but the truth. And, the first time when I realized the scam of the Republican Party and the politicians like Bush or whatever, Cheney, I was the first one to denounce them. I wish that you, as an act of love, for yourself, for your soul, for your sons and daughters, for the next generation, more important for the truth, regardless you may have differences of opinion on socioeconomics, but when you see that these people on your side, they are anyway evil, and they are as evil as the other side, you should stop playing this card of the party, and you should start unite as the human beings and Americans and denounce them. I mean, come on, if you believe in peace, if you believe that the war in Iraq was a scam and so did Afghanistan, how can you still support the piece of garbage called Barack Hussein Obama, who's been droning and bombing more innocents than Bush? How can you still go out there and say that Hillary for 2016? I mean, what are you drinking? What is your problem? Seriously. That's my point. That's my point. Let's be open to admit our mistakes. Let's be open to understand that we've been scammed in both parties. And maybe for a moment we should stop this funny game of left and right as unite, respecting each other, to focus at least to expose our enemies. And the enemy number one is the private central cartel called Federal Reserve, who control the issuancy of our currency and, of course, controls our government. But that's another story. Now, today's show, pretty much, it's over. I want to let you know, if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com, there is also a link for the archives. So you can please go there, and ask for your help to share the show to other people. We need everybody's help. Thank you very much for listening, and God's willing, talk to you next Sunday. This is Luca Zanna. Bye.